Hare Krishna, and welcome everyone back to our weekly Bhagavad Gita session. We are trying to discuss 18 chapter in 18 sessions. Needs a lot of diligence from both sides. From my side to speak these big chapters in 2 hours time, and diligence on your part to dedicatedly make yourself available and participate in the session, listen attentively to the session. These are difficult concepts. All of you at least should feel inspired to study Bhagavad Gita in deep, because what we are giving is a cursory glance. It's a high level overview. It's a 10,000 feet view we are giving. So hopefully at the end of these 18 sessions, all of you should feel inspired to have a personalized copy of Bhagavad Gita. Read it, mark it, what's important, read through the purports of Srila Prabhupada, and make Bhagavad Gita your the most valued possession in this entire universe. And that can be the success, one of the success parameters that we can set for ourselves as we have gone ahead on this journey of studying Bhagavad Gita. Moving ahead, we'll do a quick recap. We had very low attendance last session. Today also, because of Ganpati festival, we are expecting low attendance. I've received a lot of requests for recording. I can imagine people are probably traveling or moving within Mumbai to different places, so not been able to attend. That is what it is. So let's move ahead. Whoever are there, let's hear attentively about this most important topic and most important subject matter applicable to all of us. Before that, we'll take a quick look at what are the key learnings from the previous session, and what are the practical applications. So I shared these two couple of slides with everyone. I am requesting all of you to go through this.
Prabhuji, your voice is very low.
My voice is low. Hare Krishna, is this better?
Yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. So sometimes actually I speak also slowly because I need to make sure my live voice lasts for 2 hours. Sometimes I get coughing, and that's why I try to maintain it. Okay, let's go ahead. So we've shared this a couple of slides with everyone. What we want you all to do is, now these are prepared not by me. These are prepared. I have sent personal email to many of you who have been regularly attending the initial 6 sessions, and I have requested you to give me learnings and how you are practically applying those learnings. And so these are picked up. These two slides are prepared based on the input that we have received. I have received from you all. So all of you think these 6 points are critical, and they need to be there is a practical application to each of the learning also. So it's not just learning for the sake of learning, it has practical application. For example, if you are not attached, if you are not this body, we if we are convinced about the fact that we are not this body, we are spirit soul, we are spiritual and not material. The body is a carrier, is a machine that has been given to us, good, bad, ugly, whatever it is. But and we are nothing more. It's the when it will become useless, we will throw it. So how this knowledge help me lead my life practically? So we can then, on the right hand side, we have practical application where we say that, okay, not become overly attached to body, its qualities, beauty, skills, talent, knowing, all of this will end with the body, and body is destined to end. We'll talk more about that aspect in today's topic. But but suffices to say that overly attachment to body definitely can be reduced if we become convinced that we are spiritual in nature. It's like if you have gone to a movie and you are associating with a character on the screen that you are seeing, be it a hero or a heroine, and now whenever that something when if suppose it's a horror movie and that heroine is getting scared, uh, sitting in the theater, you also feel scared. Why? Because you have invested yourself into that character. So whatever happens to the character, you feel it is happening to you, but that's not reality. The reality is you're probably sitting in an air conditioned theater, and along with your friends and family, whoever you chose to go with the movie, you're probably eating some popcorn, or maybe enjoying some juice or cold drink, and having some samosas order, waiting for some samosas. So practically there is nothing wrong with you. However, because of your attachment to the character on the screen that you're seeing, you also feel scared. You experience the emotions that are experienced by the character. And that's what happened with us when we become overly attached to the body. When body gets a cut, soul feel it is miserable, and soul feel bad about it. Why? Because of the overly attachment to the body. Does it mean we should not take care of our body? No, that's not the point. Point is not to become overly attached to the body. Body is there and it has to be maintained. Just like you have a car and the car has to be maintained, because car is serving a purpose of taking undertaking a journey that you have, uh, for example, if you want to go from Mumbai to Delhi, on the road, you need a good car. And taking care of that car, there's nothing wrong in that, because want to make sure that the car should last for the 1200 kilometers and you should reach your destination safely. If you're careless, the car will break down too often, and that will create a lot of disturbance in your journey. So though nothing will be wrong with you, but your journey will not be very peaceful. So maintaining car in good condition is equivalent of maintaining our body in good condition. So so keep it healthy, do what is required to take care of your body, but don't think you are your body. That's the whole point. So we should turn our focus in understanding our reviving our relationship with Krishna, because if soul is a Krishna Sambandha Vijnana. It's a science of relationship with the Supreme. This is the introduction of Bhagavad Gita. This is what was given in the 4.3 of Bhagavad Gita, where Krishna says that रहस्यम एव यह एतद उत्तमम। ये उत्तम रहस्य मैं आपको इसलिए बता रहा हूं। व्हाट इज द रहस्य? रहस्य इज दैट ऑफ अ रिलेशनशिप soul has with the super soul, supreme soul, that is Krishna. So this is the practical application. Can we lead our life with this corrected understanding? Definitely we can. Can a student lead his life with this understanding? Definitely. A grahastha, working professional, a businessman, can they act in this way that I'm not this body, I'm spirit, soul, and I need to make profit, I need to run my business properly, I need to take care of my family, but I have to understand that all this will end with my body. So I don't have to get overly attached to that aspect. So, except for Krishna, we do not have to get overly attached to anything. And these are the six points that we discussed in detail last session. So, I want you all to meditate on these points, because what I'm speaking now is a general information, but the practical application of it has to be done by all of you individually. And there I can only take you can only seek external help if you are really desiring to act on this knowledge, because when you will try to apply this knowledge in your individual life, you will have your own unique problems, which I probably would have or would not have discussed. So that's why it's important for you to think, how are you going to apply this knowledge into your personal life. For example, point 6, action in bhakti yoga or devotional service burns our previous accumulated fruits and also do not produce new ones. Now that's great. Isn't it great to know that my previous fruits of karmic reaction, I can burn them? Karma phala can be burned. Is that not a great news? So what am I doing about it? What should I do about it? We should increase our intensity in hearing and chanting, because this is devotional service. And hearing and chanting from Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, Krishna Stuti. So we should feel happy when we hear Krishna Katha. In Krishna Katha, Krishna will be glorified. In Krishna temple, Krishna will be glorified. The only purpose of creating a temple, building a temple is a place where Krishna is exclusively glorified. That is the only reason. And why we feel happy when we go to temple, because we get connect our soul is gets connected with with Krishna. And because Krishna is Satchit Ananda, soul also experience Ananda in the association of Krishna. So when we visit temple and we feel nice, it is not because soul has done anything great. It's because soul has established a contact with Krishna through darshan of deity, through eating prasad, through doing some practical seva, through meeting and talking to devotees, through hearing Krishna Katha, where Krishna is being glorified, and so on and so forth. So, how will I implement this in my life? I can read Bhagavad Gita. If I'm a student, I can study for whatever the course I have opted, and parallelly I can also read Bhagavad Gita every day for five pages every day. It won't take too long. One verse every day, 5 verses every day, whatever target we want to create for ourselves, we should be doing it, because having a medicine will not cure us. Taking medicine will cure us. So practical application is critical. Chanting, all of you are sent the japa link for morning japa that is conducted on Zoom. So we should show up. It's important to show up, connect, get up early in the morning and connect on the link, and let everyone see that you are trying to do japa. Let Krishna see that you are sincerely endeavoring to practice Krishna consciousness seriously, so that your consciousness can be purified, your thoughts can be purified, your anarthas can be reduced, and eventually the love for Krishna can get manifested. Service attitude towards Krishna and devotees will get manifested if you do devotional service nicely. So, and after doing this, if that happens, you will not only become a great individual to associate with for the rest of the world, but you will become dear to Krishna. And that is what Krishna has been saying in Bhagavad Gita all throughout. We also discuss paradigm shift in the thought flow that Krishna was expressing. So in the first 6 chapters, there's a focus on detachment, focus on sense control, mind control, lust control. So a lot of things are spoken in such a way that if you don't do this, will lead to disaster. So these are all warning kind of signals that are given in the first 6 chapters. The next 6 chapters that we are discussing now, where this is the sweetest part of Bhagavad Gita. This is the If it is a sandwich, then this is the middle filling, which is extremely tasty, and crushed in between two hard breads. So this is where Krishna is going to speak about attachment to Krishna. The first verse of 7th chapter itself, Krishna starts by saying that Maya asakta manah partha, that get your mind attached to me. And that is the end objective of all our endeavors. We to have our mind attached to Krishna. So, yeah. S- Kishore Prabhuji, yeah, you can go on mute. Vishwant Prabhuji, yeah, that's nice. Okay. So, attachment to Krishna is important. Engaging senses rather than focusing too much on controlling senses, engage them in Krishna's service. Krishna Surya Sama Maya Andhakar. Krishna is saying, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has advised us, told us in Chaitanya Charitamrita that Krishna Surya Sama Maya Andhakar. Um, so, Maya is where we believe that we are the controller and we are the enjoyers, instead of Krishna is enjoyer and Krishna is the controller, ultimate controller. When we misrepresent ourselves to be the small enjoyer and small controller, we act in that consciousness. That's when we are considered to be in Maya. That's where your you're attached to everything else other than Krishna. You're attached to women, attached to men, attached to wealth, attached to jewelry, attached to sports, stock market, economics, politics, everything else other than Krishna. So engaging your mind to Krishna is key, is the most critical activity. And for that, the sense control, engaging senses in Krishna, service of Krishna, engaging mind in serving Krishna, engaging, developing loving attitude towards Krishna is critical. And that's where the focus of this section will be. It starts with call for hearing. The first verse of 7th chapter we discuss, everything starts with hearing. Now, you're also hearing currently, hearing and meditating. When you do that, you get knowledge. Knowledge clear doubt. Doubt, when your doubts are clear, you are able to take shelter of Krishna. And in that mood, you are able to do japa. Then japa attending japa session in the morning doesn't become a painful activity. It becomes a devotional activity. It becomes a joyful activity, and you look forward to waking up in the morning so that you can do japa. That's how you will get attached to Krishna. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, he is everything. The material world comes from him. The spiritual spark, the living entities who are trying to use this material world, trying to exploit this material world, trying to enjoy the material world, are also his energy. And so, apart from these two elements, there is nothing in this world. So, whatever we see, feel, and experience, everything is energy of Krishna. So everything is owned and controlled by Krishna. Taste in water, which quest our thirst, comes from Krishna. Light that we are all experiencing, light of sun and moon, comes from Krishna. Om in Vedic mantra is Krishna. Sound in ether is Krishna. Ability in men in Krishna. All of you have some ability. Your ability to hear, your ability to take breath, convert air and absorb oxygen from him, from that air, and lungs are able to use that oxygen for purifying blood, and the blood circulation, the digestion, everything is happening inside us. Everything, that ability to do anything, comes from Krishna. Ability in men is Krishna. Fragrance in earth is Krishna. Heat in fire is Krishna. Life is Krishna. Austerity is Krishna. So many things Krishna has given. Intelligence of the intelligent people, Krishna says, I am that. Prowess of the powerful people is Krishna. Strength of the strong people is Krishna. So what should we feel proud of? What is there for us to feel proud about? Practically nothing. Only thing that we control is desire. Only thing we have some control over is our desire. If our desires are right, we can lead a peaceful, happy life in this world also. And if desires are wrongly placed, we are just it's a recipe for disaster. 7.14, most important verse. दैवीय ऐशा गुणमयी मम माया दुरत्वया. We'll talk about माया. हम बोलते हैं ना, माया में है, तू तो माया में है. So what does that mean? What does that mean? We'll talk about that in detail in subsequent chapters. But Krishna says here that unless you surrender to me, you cannot cross over Maya, because Maya is my energy, and it's very powerful. Daiviya Esha Gunamayi Mama Maya Duratvaya. When Krishna says she is very powerful, you should understand that she is indeed very powerful. And no matter how hard we may try to overcome Maya, Mayam etam tarantite. Unless we surrender to Krishna, no one can cross over Maya. Everyone is in Maya. All of us are in Maya right now also. So become devotee of Krishna. That's the underlying message. And Krishna says that's not, but that's not possible for many. Who are those many people? Uh, Namam dushkriti no mudham, foolish people. Prapadyante naradham people. Mayaya apharata jnanam, those whose intelligence have been stolen by Maya, they also don't surrender me. And asurim bhavamashrita, asuri people also don't suggest surrender to me. Then who surrenders to Krishna? Who comes to Krishna? Who develops a desire कि कृष्णा के पास जाते हैं? चतुर्विधा भजन्ते माम. Janam sutkritino dushkrita, जनः सुकृतिनो अर्जुन, आर्तो, आर्तो जो डिस्ट्रेस में है, जो पेन में है, जो सफर हो रहे हैं, जो बहुत दुखी है, आर्तो, जिज्ञासु, जिज्ञासु जो जिन्हें जिज्ञासा है, भगवान के बारे में जानने की इच्छा है, अर्थार्थी आर द वंस हु आर ट्रेडिंग विद कृष्णा, कि मुझे दे एक्सेप्ट कृष्णा एज द सुप्रीम लॉर्ड, बट दे आर स्टिल नॉट, they're still attached to their sense gratification, they're not attached to Krishna, and they understand that in order to get good quality sense gratification they can worship Krishna, because Krishna is ultimate controller. And jnani cha dharata varshava, jnani are the one who are cultivating knowledge. Those jnanis are not simple. Krishna says ज्ञानवान माम प्रपद्यते, ज्ञानी surrender to me when bahunam janmanante, कि Bahunam, many, after many births, one may become a Gyani, and after becoming Gyani, one may surrender to me. So this is Jnana Marga. This is not very attractive because it has a lot of ifs and buts. We may or we may not surrender to Krishna. We may not come to that conclusion. And that's why Bhakti is recommended. Bhakti will be recommended in this chapter throughout. So let's talk about chapter 8, where the header is the acronym we'll use is dead, because as you would have heard from the scene from the the teaser that I sent on Saturday morning, we're going to discuss a lot about death today. And so the chapter starts actually with few doubts being raised by Arjuna. That he is asking a lot of question at the beginning of this chapter. That what is Brahman? What is the self? What are the fruitive activities? What is this material manifestation? And what are the demigods? Who is the Lord of sacrifice? And how does he live in the body? And seventh chapter, how can those engaged in devotional service know you at the time of death? the- Pay attention, this is extremely important section. uh just give me a second. Okay. Yes. Hare Krishna. Yeah. So Krishna, so these are very technical questions that Arjuna has asked, and Krishna gives very brief answer to all of these questions in one verse, and those answers are covered in the first in the couple of verses that Krishna speaks, the verse third and fourth. However, the last question, which is highlighted part over here, how can those engaged in devotional service know you at the time of death? Now, this is the one question that Krishna will pick up. This thread Krishna thought of, this thread of thought Krishna is going to pick up, and he is going to spend rest of the chapter practically discussing this one question itself. So this question is, that's why that's the reason why this question was very extremely important. So we'll directly jump into that section very quickly. That lesson two is end of life. Now this is picked up, this is described in the verses 5 to 8 of 8th chapter. Now all this has started picked the reference to that has come from the last verse in the 7th chapter, where Krishna is where Arjuna is where Krishna spoke that prayana kale pi cha mam te vidur te vidur yukta chetasaha te vidur yukta chetasaha. That he spoke something about prayanakal. Prayanakal is even at the time of death. What happens at the time of death? Krishna is saying that those in full consciousness of me, who know me, the Supreme Lord. to be the governing principle of the material manifestation of the demigods and of all methods of sacrifice, can understand and know me, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, even at the time of death. So Arjuna is curious to know what is the significance of this event called Prayana Kal. Prayana is journey, is a leaving the body. That is called Prayana Kal, the time or the moment when we are about to leave our body. Now that is Prayana Kal. How do we what do we do at that time? Uh, so what happens at that time? What happens? We accept one body after quitting another body depending on two factors. So we are given new body, and which body we are given depends on two factors. One is desires stored in our mind at the time of death, and second is good and bad karma in our account. So I may have a desire. I may have a desire to own a bungalow, a big bungalow, 5,000 square feet, couple of storied, good parking, this, that, and I may have desire. I probably would have seen it somewhere. I've liked it, and I have desire. What? How can you stop me from having a desire? But do I have currency? Do I have money to pay for that bungalow? If yes, I may actually end up getting a bungalow. But if no, I may end up getting a bedroom hall kitchen in one building. Though I may have a desire for a bungalow, right now I may get restricted to a one bedroom hall kitchen home because I whatever the desire I may have, I still have to have capacity to pay. That is good and bad karma in our account. If that is less, I whatever desire I may have, I will not get it. So, so the this is critical to understand.
होते हुए ब्रिज के रेलिंग के दूसरी ओर जा गिरी और दूसरी लड़की को पता भी नहीं चला, यहाँ तक कि हादसा होने के बाद भी उसके समझ में कुछ नहीं आया कि उसकी दोस्त कहाँ गई। दोस्तों, रोड पर चलते वक्त मोबाइल का इस्तेमाल ना करें, सावधान रहे। हुए ब्रिज के रेलिंग के दूसरी ओर जा गिरी।
So basically, uh, what we are seeing here, are multiple ways in which death occurred to various people. Not all of these people were old. Not all of these people had any visible sickness. You saw first slide. All of you could see the slides, right? I hope.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. The caption was coming in front, Prabhuji. Means,
Okay, let me go
in
through
front of the slide.
once more. Yeah. Right. Is it better?
Maybe Prabhuji, because I'm logging in from mobile and it is going outside the screen, and that caption.
Okay.
Yeah, this is better, Prabhuji.
This is better?
This is visible actually.
Let me just play once more.
हुए ब्रिज के रेलिंग के दूसरी ओर जा गिरी और दूसरी लड़की को पता भी नहीं चला, यहाँ तक कि हादसा होने के बाद भी उसके समझ में कुछ नहीं आया कि उसकी दोस्त कहाँ गई। दोस्तों, रोड पर चलते वक्त मोबाइल का इस्तेमाल ना करें, सावधान रहे।
So, so all of you would have probably seen, thanks to thanks to CCTVs that are installed everywhere, thanks to mobile phones, that we have. Every now and then we see on social media, on in the news articles, you know, the incidences actually get recorded when people are just leaving their bodies, just like that. The first video we saw, a young reporter came out for reporting, came to her work, and probably just suffered from a heart attack and left her body. So death is, one beautiful story that Amog Lila Prabhu often uses in his sessions, that death, comes anytime and for anybody without any notice. So Prabhuji gives a very humorous example that एक बार एक बिजनेसमैन के पास डेथ गई, तो उसने बोला कि बिजनेसमैन तो बिजी था, बोला मैं बिना अपॉइंटमेंट के तो किसी को नहीं मिलता। और डेथ ने बोला मैं अपॉइंटमेंट तो लेती ही नहीं, मैं बिना अपॉइंटमेंट के ही आती हूँ। सो क्या करे? तो बिजनेसमैन चतुर था, बोला अच्छा थोड़ा सेटिंग करते, शायद दिल्ली वाला था। तो बोला तुम बैठो, कहाँ कहाँ से पता नहीं आई हो, बहुत थकी हुई हो, तो मैं छोले कुलचे कुछ मंगा लेता हूँ तुम्हारे लिए। तो छोले कुलचे मंगा लिए। तो डेथ को भी आज तक इतनी इज्जत कभी मिली नहीं थी। तो शी फेल्ट फाइन, ओके छोले कुलचे मंगाओ, एंड छोले कुलचे खाते बाद में लस्सी मंगा ली। तो बोले थोड़ी देर आराम कर लो, फिर चलते हैं, जाना जल्दी क्या है। और फिर वो बिजनेसमैन ने स्मार्ट गिरी करके बोला मैं आपका नाम, अपना नाम उसके ऊपर था सबसे लिस्ट में, तो ऊपर से काट के वो नीचे डाल देता है। और फिर when death wakes up, she says okay, I've been very you treated me very well. इतना अच्छा मुझे कोई ट्रीटमेंट नहीं देता है, तो आज मैं एक काम करती हूँ, मैं ऊपर से शुरू करने वाली थी बट मैं नीचे से शुरू करती हूँ। एंड नीचे में तो उसी का नाम होता है, तो उसका नंबर लग जाता है। सो यू कांट अवॉइड डेथ, you can't escape death. And also that it's something that that is inevitable for everyone, yet everyone feels that it will not happen with you. That's how we carry out our life, thinking it will not happen to me. That's what was bewildering to Yudhishthir Maharaj when he was answering questions asked by Yaksha. This is one of the answer that he gives, that it's extremely bewildering to see how people are dying everywhere. Uh, uh, the, so Vikrantji and Vishwanath Prabhuji, people.
Can I request you to make me co-host to this?
You were co-host.
So I logged in, means logged out in between. I don't know because of network.
I'll also become co-host, so I can also do it. So yeah, please pay attention. I mean, I'm sure all of you are at home, and there are 100 things that can be disturbing to you. But pay attention. I mean, if this class were to be held in a temple, probably would have had to travel 1 hour in this weather, and go back for by another 1 hour. How many of you really would have taken the pain of traveling for 1 hour? Most of you would not have even bothered. So it's a facility that we have, that is sitting inside comforts of our home. We are trying to get to learn Bhagavad Gita, which is really being served on platter to us. So we should, from our side, I think we should be diligent enough to at least remove 2 hours in a week and pay attention. So that becomes a good learning experience for everyone, all of us. Even me, I'm also learning as I'm speaking. So let's have as less disturbances as possible and let's focus more. So death is the most important event in our life. What are we doing? The question is, if like all important events in our life, we do a lot of planning, like from our birth, childbirth, to graduation, to marriage, the birth of their children. We meticulously plan and execute activities. Everything is ceremonial. So we celebrate everything, we plan in detail, we spend a lot of money, spend a lot of time, energy, effort, and money to do those celebrations. So if death is also an event and one of the most important event, what are we doing to prepare for that death? So this is often most neglected event by all of us, considering it to be the most unavoidable and most unpleasant event of our life. So really, how do we exactly prepare for this event? If we know how to prepare for marriage. If one of us want to get married, they know how long the preparation go in. The preparation can begin few months in advance, and the bill payment can keep happening for another couple of months after the marriage as well. So it's a meticulously planned event. Lot of energy goes into it, lot of money goes into it, lot of time goes into it. How are we then supposed to plan for our death, or anybody's death for that matter? However, the question is, nobody wants to buy. Nobody wants to die, but nobody can avoid or escape death. In Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna has spoken elaborately about this event called death, and he has given us details of what it means and how it should be handled. So when we say the information about death is basically comes in two forms. What it really means, what really happens at the moment of death, and how it should be handled, what are we supposed to do when that time comes. So let's look at that guidance more closely. We'll do a quick activity. So in 2.27, Krishna says, Jatasya hi dhruvo mrityu, dhruvam janma mrutasya cha, meaning one who has taken the birth is sure to die, and after death, one is sure to take birth again. So anyone who has taken birth is sure to meet death sooner or later. That's what Krishna is saying. But earlier in the same chapter, Krishna says in verse 2.20, Na jayate mriyate va kadachit, meaning there is neither birth or nor death at any time. So within span of few verses, 20 to 27, Krishna has spoken contradictory kind of statements, seemingly contradictory statements. How do we understand this contradiction? Is it a contradiction, or is Krishna saying what Krishna is really saying? So in 1/20th verse, Krishna is saying that there is neither birth nor death at any time. And 27th verse, the same Krishna is saying that one who has taken birth is sure to die, and after death, one has to take birth again. Can someone explain what this contradiction is all about? Birth and death is for body, not for soul. Yeah. Anybody else? Charishma, a very nice answer. Which one is for body, which one is for soul? Let me ask you another question. You can unmute and speak as well. Or Kanchan Mataji, you can speak since you have raised the hand.
Jai Shri Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare
As
Krishna.
rightly shared by Ms. Charishma, that one is for the body and one is for the soul. So the one who is going to take a birth and die is for the body, whereas the soul is it's not going to die, it's not going to take birth. It is beyond time.
Okay. Yeah. So 2.20 is with reference, spoken with reference to a soul.
So soul, yes.
And 2.27 is spoken with
Reference
reference
to the
to
body.
body. Okay. Anybody else has any other thought, additional? Yeah, no, that's correct answer. That's very good understanding. And thank you, both of you, for bringing it up. Baiju Prabhuji, yes. Happy to hear. Prabhuji, you can unmute
Yeah,
and speak.
yeah, yeah. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, just Mataji said, I'm totally agree with it, that this body, takes the birth and death, the complete the cycle, but soul never dies. The soul is, the eternal, means it travel from one body to another. So
Okay. So body is sure to die. There's a end for the body that is certain. Body cannot be saved and soul cannot be killed. That's the bottom line. Yeah, very nice. Thank you so much. So let's move forward and see what Krishna is saying. Krishna is referring to two different things in these two verses. In 2.20, na hanyate hanya mane sharire. So the verse ends with this sentence that that is not killed even when the body is killed. That's how the verse ended. So clearly in the 2.20, the reference is to something which is beyond the body. न हन्यते हन्य माने शरीरे मीन्स शरीर का विनाश हो जाता है बट उसका विनाश नहीं होता. हु किसका विनाश नहीं होता? द वन हु इज ऑक्यूपाइंग द शरीर, द वन हु इज ऑक्यूपाइंग द बॉडी, that element does not get destructed because that has never taken birth, that has never there's no birth, there's no death for the soul. And body has taken birth, soul has not taken birth. Body has taken birth, body has got manifested, and body will get destroyed also on its expiry date. So the this so he brings out this difference in when he says that dehino smin yatha dehe. So this foreign element who's occupying the body is spiritual in nature and it's Satchit Ananda. By its qualities are Satchit Ananda. It's always want to be blissful. Body, on the other hand, is like a machine made up of five elements of material nature: earth, water, ether, fire, air, which becomes useless on its expiry day. Soul will have to leave or exit this useless machine and get a new body and continue his journey. So the body takes birth and dies. Soul has never taken birth. Hence, there is no question of death for the soul. So let's focus more on the journey a little bit more. Now, each journey, when we say the word journey, we imply that every journey has a destination. Each journey has to have a destination. If you see somebody going somewhere and if you'll ask him, where are you going? If he says, I don't know, you may not really consider that to be a very intelligent answer because he said, you should know where you are going. He said, no, but I don't know where I'm going. Wherever there is road, I will go. No, that's not journey. That's just wandering, and that's so dangerously wandering. So each journey has some destination. And what is the destination for the soul? Why is soul changing body? Why is soul changing car? It's like you are driving and then your car breaks down. You order for a new car, you get a new car, and you continue driving. But if somebody asks you where do you really want to go, in which direction you are going, wherever there is road, I'm going. That's not very smart answer. So what is the purpose of acquiring new temporary body and giving it up after some time and acquire another body? ये करने का मतलब क्या है? ये मगजमारी क्यों करना है? क्यों प्ले ग्रुप में जाना है? क्यों फर्स्ट स्टैंडर्ड करना है? क्यों वापस से ग्रेजुएशन करना है? क्यों वापस से लोकल के धक्के खा के जॉब करना है? क्यों वापस शादी करनी है? नया घर लेना है? होम लोन लेना है? होम लोन चुकाने चुकाते आपका 50 साल हो जाता है. देन यू टेक एजुकेशन लोन फॉर योर चाइल्ड, चाइल्ड गोज अब्रॉड, नेवर कम्स बैक. वो लोन खत्म होते होते आपका जॉब खत्म होता है. देन बाय देन यू हैव लेफ्ट नथिंग टू डू. व्हाट इज द पर्पस ऑफ ह्यूमन लाइफ? व्हाट इज द पर्पस ऑफ एक्वायरिंग दिस बॉडी एंड giving it up after few years and take another body? What is it supposed to do? What is really that the soul is searching for? What is the destination? That is a question that all of us need to ask ourselves. So what is the purpose? the in the process, soul experience tons of suffering and miseries, and we get while he gets some few drops of happiness. So it's not a very, unless it is driven by a purpose, this suffering may not, we may come to a point where we may say, okay, it's not worth it. It's not worth suffering so much for some small drops of happiness, and when we don't even know what are we going to do. So soldiers in on the border, they suffer a lot. They get bullets in their body, and all kind of suffering. They survive in very difficult conditions, difficult extreme weather conditions. Now all of they do it because they have a higher purpose in their mind, because they have to serve the nation, they want to protect their country. So for that purpose you are able to take a lot of hardship. But currently we are taking undergoing a lot of hardship, and we don't even know the purpose for doing why we are doing it. Then it becomes very painful. For example, uh if you if I pinch you, you will not like it. But when you go to doctor, take an injection, you get the similar pain, but you find it worth it because you're taking injection, you're paying doctor for giving you pain as well. Because that is, in the first instance when I'm pinching you, it's a meaningless pain. In the second instance, it's a meaningful pain, because you believe, you have a faith that doctor is relieving you from some sickness. You probably would have taken a shot for some disease, or this is supposed to protect you from getting disease in future. So any pain, any suffering, we can undergo if it is meaningful. But if it is meaningless, it is annoying. If I just keep pinching you after one after another, you'll be disturbed. You'll try to protect yourself, and that's right. So because suffering should have a purpose. So what is the purpose for which we are suffering in the material world, and what are we supposed to do with it? So this is where Krishna explains in the fifth verse of 8th chapter, where Krishna says that antakale cha mam eva स्मरण मुक्त्वा कलेवरम यह प्रयाति समद्भावम याति न्या नास्तत्र संशयः। इसमें कोई संशय नहीं है। किसमें संशय नहीं है? Whoever at the end of his life quit his body remembering me alone. Now mam eva is very important. Now कृष्ण का स्मरण करना है, रिमेम्बरिंग, स्मरण, स्मरण मुक्त्वा. स्मरण means remembrance. It's not just utterance, uttering his words, uttering his name. It is remembering Krishna. And when Antakal, at the moment of giving up our body, at the moment when the soul is about to leave the body, at that time, if one is able to remember Krishna at that moment, uh, he will attain Krishna. Of this, there is no doubt. He will attain Krishna. Of this, there is no doubt. Now, this is the goal of our journey. This is the reason why we are going through all the pains in the material body, in the material world. This is one destination all of us should hope to achieve at the end of our current body. If we don't, we'll have to get another body and continue on this journey. So this is one destination that we all have we all share basically this destination. So all of us have this destination in our mind. We should keep, this is the goal of our life, that remember Krishna at the moment of your death. If you do that, go back to Krishna. No more repeat, no more birth and no more death. So that's the purpose of human life. So um, यम यम वापि स्मरण भावम त्यत्यजन्ते कलेवरम तम तमे वैति कौन्तेय सदा तद्भाव भावितः। यम यम वापि स्मरण भावम. So first verse, the fifth verse was a specific instruction that if you remember Krishna, you will go back to Krishna. Sixth verse is a general clause, general category. Now, those devotees will be very few who will remember Krishna at the moment of their death. Uh, but generally, general rule is whatever you will remember at the moment of your death, that state you will attain of that without fail. uh, a story where a businessman who owned a factory, who started a factory with a lot of hard work, and was always attached to the factory. So what happened? What happened at the moment of his death? He had four sons. All four sons were by his bed, and then he opened his eyes in the extreme painful condition. At the moment of death, he saw all four of his sons sitting next to his bed. Then he said, गधड़ो, फैक्ट्री में कौन है? तुम चारों लोग इधर है तो फैक्ट्री कौन देख रहा है? Now he had so much attachment for the factory. He's not thinking of Krishna. He's thinking about factory. He's somebody could be thinking about jewelry. While mere jewelry ka kya hoga? Somebody could be thinking about lot of land that they have purchased, estate, property that they had purchased, they have accumulated. उसका क्या होगा? ये क्या होगा? उसको कौन जाएगा? ये किसको मिलेगा? मेरे बीबी को क्या मिलेगा? बच्चे को क्या मिलेगा? इसको क्या मिलेगा? उसको क्या मिलेगा? They will all be thinking about that. Whatever our attachments are, those that state we will attain. Prabhupada said in one, Prabhupada used to give that example, and he said that man, if he's so attached to the factory, he can become a rat in his own factory. He can become a rat in his own factory. Now, how horrible that can be, from human body to become a rat. What a degradation. And why? Because then you'll have to come up again, up the cycle, and again get a human body, and again attempt to remember Krishna at the end of our life. So the exam paper is out. The exam paper is known. It's not a leak. It's not an exam paper leak. Exam paper has already been leaked. Everyone has to remember Krishna at the moment of their death. This is the examination. This is what we all have to do. When is the question? We don't know that. The timing of exam is not known. What is going to be asked in the paper, that is known. Did you remember Krishna when you left your body? That will be the question all of us will be asked when we will go back to to the Yamraj. If yes, if answer to that question is yes, we will not even see Yamraj. We will not even see Vishnu Dutas. We will see Vishnu. We will not see Yamraj and Yamadutas. We will see Vishnu and Vishnu Dutas. They will take us back to Krishna, and there we will reside with Krishna eternally, in a happy state, serving Krishna, not enjoying with Krishna, serving Krishna. Remember, unless we get that service attitude, it's impossible to go back to Krishna. It's not that I'm enjoying here, I will go and enjoy there. That's not the state. That's not correct knowledge. That's not correct information. So we have to learn to serve while in this body, and we will continue serving by going into the spiritual world also. Now, how do I do this? Remembering Krishna may sound at the moment of death is may sound easy, but death is a very extremely painful moment. We hear, we read that when one leaves, when the soul is pulled out of one's body, one can experience pain equivalent of more than 10,000 scorpions biting at the same time. It's going to be extremely painful. Now, we at the moment of death, many of our body organs are failing. How are we supposed to remember Krishna? So Krishna says, gives them the clue that tasmat sarveshu kaleshu mam anusmara yudhya cha mai arpita mano buddhi mam iveshyasya samshayah. Therefore, Arjuna, you should always think of me in the form of Krishna, and at the same time carry out your prescribed duty of fighting. With your activities dedicated to me and your mind and intelligence fixed on me, you will attain me without doubt. Span of 3 verses, Krishna is using this असंशयः, इसमें कोई संशय नहीं है, that you will attain me, उसमें कोई संशय नहीं है. He is giving assurance, but it is conditional assurance, that ऐसा नहीं कि तुम कुछ भी करोगे और you will go back to Krishna. You will lead a colorful life, a sinful, colorful life, and you will hope to go back to Krishna. No. Krishna says you have to tasmat sarveshu kaleshu mam anusmara yudhyacha. Mam anusmara yudhyacha. Sarveshu kaleshu. And therefore, sarveshu kaleshu means all the time and every time you have to cultivate remembrance of Krishna. Mam anusmara. because you have to remember him also at the moment of your death. Yuddhacha. Now, Arjuna prescribed duty was fighting a war. For a student, prescribed duty will be studying, and qualifying for whatever the exam that they are undertaking. Um, for a working professional, the prescribed duty will be to work. But how to work? Mam anusmara yudhyacha. Mam anusmara, do your duty. And then for a homemaker, uh, she has to she has to carry out her duties at home by cultivating constant remembrance of Krishna. She has to also remember Krishna. A retired person has to do his part of duties by remembering Krishna. So everyone can do their prescribed duties in whichever ashram they may belong to, and at the same time they can cultivate constant remembrance of Krishna. They can perform devotional service, they can do japa, they can do chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra, they can read from scriptures, they can uh, serve devotees in the mission, they can give some Lakshmi as a donation to the for the service of, for the spreading of Krishna consciousness, for distribution of Bhagavad Gita, for distribution of Srimad Bhagavatam, and running temples. They can practically do seva, and that cultivating that service attitude through sadhana bhakti by protecting oneself from four regulatory principles. One may cultivate constant remembrance of Krishna. Of this, there is no doubt. And if one can do that, Krishna says, I will, I'll ensure that, such soul come back to me. Prabhupada writes in the purport, always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna. Of course, one's thought during the course of one's life accumulate to influence one's thought at the moment of death. So this life creates one's next life. If in one's present life one lives in the mode of goodness and always think of Krishna, it is possible for one to remember Krishna at the end of one's life. This is very assuring that one has to um, live in the mode of goodness and perform devotional service. Just mode of goodness is also not enough. If you don't perform service, practical service to Krishna, if you don't do japa, if you don't do reading of Bhagavad Gita, if you don't hear Krishna Katha, cultivate taste for hearing Krishna Katha, and cultivate taste for serving devotees. If you don't do that, then the challenge is very, very difficult of remembering Krishna. Your possibility of you remembering Krishna is very weak. But if you do these things correctly, Prabhupada is assuring that one will remember. It is possible for one to remember Krishna at the end of one's life. That will help one to be transferred to the transcendental nature of Krishna, BG 2.6. So hearing is important, but practical application is most important. Only then will it be possible to remember Lord constantly. Prabhupada writes in the purport, if one is transcendentally absorbed in Krishna's service, then his next body will be transcendental, spiritual, not material. Therefore, the chanting of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare is the best process for successfully changing one's state of being at the end of one's life. Prabhupada is giving very clear instruction. And the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, complete Hare Krishna Mahamantra, 16 words, is used more often than in the purports of Srila Prabhupada than in any other chapter. So in this chapter, it is abundantly used. In the chapter, the purport to verse 8.5 itself, it is used twice. 8.6 it is used, and in multiple places Prabhupada has used has given the complete Hare Krishna Mahamantra. It shows the importance of chanting, which is the first step towards cultivation of remembrance of Krishna. The Lord does not say that one should give up his prescribed duties or engagements. One can continue them and at the same time think of Krishna by chanting Hare Krishna. This will free one from material contamination and engage the mind and intelligence in Krishna. By chanting Krishna's name, one will be transferred to the supreme planet, Krishna Loka, without a doubt. 8.7. What is what is what is goal we need to attain at the death? What is it? What is it that we have to do at the moment of death? So Krishna has revealed that ultimate destination is to attain Krishna, achieve Krishna in his abode. Go to Krishna. The whole purpose of Bhagavad Gita is to inspire us to become devotee of Krishna. By becoming devotee of Krishna, one will be able to follow four regulatory principles. By becoming a devotee of Krishna, one will be able to chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, which is glorification of Krishna. If one is not envious of Krishna, one will not mind chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, which is a glorification of Krishna. If one is if one is um, and then by taking up reading, hearing and chanting process, one will cultivate remembrance of Krishna. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam. So this Vishnu Smaranam is the ultimate instruction given in every scriptures. And if that can be best cultivated by serving Krishna in any way possible, serving Krishna or devotees of Krishna who are engaged in propagating Krishna consciousness. By doing that also, we will constantly remember Krishna. So, which means at the moment of death, one should remember Krishna alone, and then he can attain Krishna without fail. In order to remember him at the moment of death, one should remember him all the time. So we just summarizing and reiterate. Krishna reiterate this instruction in 8.14 when Krishna says that Ananya Chetaha Satatam Yomam Smarati Nityashaha Tasyaham Sulabha Partha Nitya Yuktasya Yoginaha. This process of remembering Krishna, one may feel is very difficult. But Krishna says Tasya Sulabha. Sulabha is very easy. For a bhakti yogi, it is very easy. It is not at all difficult. But for that, you have to ananya. Na anya means ananya. Na anya means one should not have any other shelter other than Krishna. One should not have any other shelter other than Krishna. For every difficulty, any difficulty, one should go to Krishna. And difficulties will come in our life, but if one is without deviation, one is constantly performing devotional service satatam yomam smarati nityashaha. Every devotional service whatever we will do will lead us to remember Krishna. And Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam. So by doing this, if one do this devotional service without deviation, constantly with commitment, with determination, then for such a devotee, it is sulabha to remember Krishna at the end of his life. It's not easy at all. How difficult it is? It is said that how much water is accumulated in a foot mark if a calf walks in sand or mud, then her feet creates an impression, and it's a calf is a small is very small, so her feet is also very small, and the impression that she will create is also very small. So how much water can get accumulated in that small impression? So this bhavasagar will appear to be like water in a footprint of a cow of a calf's foot impression. It will become that small. You can easily cross over. But if you are a devotee, then only it is possible to cross over. If you are a non-devotee, it is impossible to cross over. It is not possible to cross over. Krishna reiterate this information saying that Tesham सतत युक्तानाम भजताम प्रीति पूर्वकम, जो मेरा प्रीति पूर्वक भजन करते हैं, सतत युक्तानाम कॉन्स्टेंटली मेरा प्रीति पूर्वक भजन करते हैं, लविंगली people perform devotional service, dadami buddhi yogam tem tam ye namam upayanti te. I will give them additional intelligence, I will give them additional buddhi, using which they will be able to remember cultivate constant remembrance of me, and by which they can ultimately come to me. So lovingly remember Krishna throughout one's life and at the moment of our death, to ensure we attain our destination, which is attaining Krishna. How do we, what happens really, how to prepare for the moment of death? Now this is again extremely important. Let's all pay attention. We all witness death. We just saw a few incidences where the death occurred in the most in the most unpredictable way, but there is death that is occurring in a predictable way also, uh, everywhere around us. So how do we really prepare for that incidents for ourselves and also for others? What precautions we can take so that we create a possibility of remembering Krishna, or the any departed soul, uh, the soul who is departing, he can remember Krishna or she can remember Krishna. So broadly bifurcated it into the three categories. Again, these are not prescription. These are some suggestions. It's not that this is only thing that can be done. There could be more to this as well. But this is general guidance that we can take from understanding how to how to facilitate remembrance of Krishna at the moment of death. First is emotional closure. Second is environmental settings to be can be arranged. And third, how senses can be engaged in Krishna's service. Now, emotional closure. Now, emotional closure is very important. If so, our bodily attachment is nothing but an emotion. And if even if one knows, one is aware that you are not your body, your spirit soul, it is likely that we may get attached to ourselves, we may get attached to our loved ones, who for whom we are responsible. And that attachment, because of that attachment, we may get attached to the body, because all those relations are based on body. I may have a son, may have a daughter, may have wife, may have parents, my father, my mother, my uncle, my auntie, Mossy, whoever, mama, mommy, all of those are my relatives at the level of my body. They're not my soul mates. They are my body mates. So naturally, unless we sever those relationships, unless we take care of these emotional bonds, it's difficult for soul to concentrate on the become detached from the body. If one is too entangled in these emotions, uh, then it's and all those emotions are from the bodily conception, then it becomes extremely difficult for soul to become detached from the body. And then for such a soul, remembering Krishna becomes very difficult. So such soul will continue to stay in the body to take care of things. So what we can do to facilitate emotional closure so that soul can now concentrate on Krishna. So we can do following things. Again, as I said, these are suggestions, these are guidances. There's not prescription that this is the only thing that has to be done. So let's understand what we can do. And you all can contribute more if you have more ideas. So sixfold exchange is for emotional closure. We are facilitating emotional closure for someone who is about to leave his body. We can express our love for them and express how we experience love from them. One Nobody wants to live a meaningless life. Meaningless life is where nobody care for you and you don't care for anybody. We ultimately, with whatever achievements that we have, we want to share them with our loved ones. We want to find that loved one with whom we can share our emotions. We may attain, we can become the richest person on the planet, but we want somebody who we love to show how rich we have become, how much effort we have put in, how much hard work struggle I have undergone to become the richest person of the world. So the riches does not give me pleasure, but appreciation from my loved person, the person whom I love, when that comes, I get pleasure. My happiness is from the relationship, is not from the matter. So expressing our love to person who is departing, we give them assurance that their life was meaningful. And how we experience love from them, if they happen to be our elder, we can experience, we can appreciate and heartily appreciate how much love we experience from that person. and how it mattered to us, what difference it made in our life because of them, whatever they have done for us, how it was important for us. Now this is extremely important, to do emotional closures with that person, beg for forgiveness and offer forgiveness, depending on the person who is leaving the body, about to leave body, if he's younger or elder, depending on that, forgiveness can be given and asked for. If they are elder, we can go and ask for forgiveness, that if I've done anything wrong, knowingly, unknowingly, please forgive me. By doing this, lot of choked emotions can get released. Nobody wants to feel small in front of other person. So if you by showing courage to ask for forgiveness, you actually, uh, you are you're making yourself seem small in front of other person. Then the other person may think that, because all this, one has to give up one's ego in order to do that. One has to offer forgiveness also. If the person who is about to leave body is younger than us, we can offer our forgiveness also. If they ask for it, we can say, I have no grudges, i have I have nothing in my mind, whatever misunderstandings or misdeeds that I believe you did or I did, I'm okay with all of that. By expressing this out, we help person do emotional closure, to express how much we will miss how much we will miss that person, how valuable your life was for me. By remaining anxieties, how I will address your remaining anxieties. If a lot of people, a lot of time people leave their body and they have a lot of anxieties. um, it could be related to the property, or it could be related to the division of wealth amongst their legal heirs. It could be their young daughters who are not yet married. It could be anything. It could be, anything practically. So whatever, if they have expressed any unfulfilled desires, if they have expressed any anxieties, any things that they felt they should have done, but they couldn't complete, and now they are on the deathbed, we can give them assurance that we will address those remaining anxieties for the loved ones, and that will help them focus, withdraw their mind from all these other objects and concentrate it on Krishna. Unfulfilled desires, last wishes, that can be whatever they, if they express any, then those things can be arranged and can be fulfilled. If not, if not, then the any assurances can be given that it will be done and in due course of time, and that can give some, the person who is about to leave body can become more peaceful, and then focus on Krishna. The idea is to make them peaceful so that they can concentrate on Krishna, on cultivating their remembrance of Krishna. Spiritual environment, when we are in a place where somebody is about to give up his body, about to leave body, um, even if it is a hospital, we can create spiritual environment for that person. Environment is created by keeping spiritual objects in the visible vicinity, so that wherever that person see, turn his neck or head, he should see spiritual objects, and that should give him remembrance of Krishna. You can see the image of Krishna with a cow behind me. Now you can have the use of such pictures is to cultivate, is to give us remembrance of Krishna. If the moment of death occurs without our in an unexpected way, then these things should give us remembrance of Krishna. If we have time, we can chant, we can narrate chapter 2 of Bhagavad Gita, 7, 12 of Bhagavad Gita, 9 of Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita can be chanted, narrated. We can give water of Ganga Jal or water of any sacred river, can be given, can be fed. We can feed such person with water from Ganga, or Radha Kund water is offered. There's a beautiful house space in Vrindavan, where Radha Kund water is offered to all the patients there every day. So if we have Ganga Jal Radha or Radha water from any Radha Kund or any other sacred river, that can be fed, so that they know it's a water coming from the feet of Lord Krishna. So that is what gives that water potency to cure every every sin that the person might have had committed. So again, very important. But this is how we help facilitate person remembrance of Krishna. Kirtan can be played 24 by 7. Kirtan or Prabhupada Japa can be, we can arrange for a chanting machine to be procured, and can be placed. Prabhupada Japa is there on YouTube, or or some soft Kirtan can be played, so that whenever, because ear, one of the last organ to get close is ear. So for long time, a person may have his other organs failing, he may continue to have his ears functioning likely. So that person can hear Krishna Kirtan, and that way can remember Krishna. Tilak, Kanthimala, Vaishnava attire can be offered to the person who is about to leave the body. We've seen that practically, even non-devotees of, but parents of devotees, especially, they sometimes they don't really become devotees. When the child has accepted Krishna consciousness, the parents continue to live their own life in their own way, but they can be their consciousness can be also improved by simple things like giving them tilak, wherein helping them wear kanthimala, and a nice Vaishnava. We can also wear Vaishnava attire, so that seeing us, they remember Krishna, and they can also be given tilak and kanthimala and other Vaishnava attire, so that all of those objects can help them remember Krishna. Sensory inputs, as the multiple organs will start failing at the moment of towards the end of their life, the person's life, the as long as their senses are functional, we can provide them with sensory inputs, which is Krishna consciousness in nature. So all the five senses can be fed with inputs of Krishna, about Krishna. A sound, a soft kirtan can be played for all 24 hours. Then various chapters from Bhagavad Gita or Srimad Bhagavatam can be read, so that the person who, if he has his hearing ability, he can continue to hear about Krishna, and that way remember Krishna. Sight, wherever you can see, you should be able to see Krishna, picture of Krishna, or any object which can give them remembrance of Krishna. Even you wearing a tilak, and if you go in front of that person, he will say Hare Krishna. Even if you wear tilak and go on the street, people will say Hare Krishna to you. So what to speak of, your loved one, when they will see you in tilak, they will remember Krishna, and that's how they will be the, the probability of they remembering Krishna at that last moment also increases accordingly. Sound, sight, taste, the Tulsi Ganga Jal, which that can be offered spoon by spoon. Now, this can be given irrespective of all other medicines. We can continue to provide them with the necessary medicines, but this water, if they have ability to drink or ability to consume anything through mouth, that can be given by spoon. The touch, the Maha garland of Lord from nearby temple, or garland offered to home deity, that can be offered to the person, and which should be fragrance flower, which should be made with fragrant flowers, and that garland, when it touches the body of the person who is about to leave the body, then that gives them remembrance of Krishna, because that is nothing but prasad. So by these ways, we can facilitate remembrance of Krishna to a person who is about to leave the body. Now, for us, these opportunities come every now and then. Not always we are in a position to do all of these things for the person who is about to leave the body. A lot of people don't know about these things, and they therefore, they don't value these things. Remembrance of Krishna at the moment of death, they have no knowledge about it. They don't know anything about it. uh, Christians want to go to heaven because they're trying to enjoy here, they will go and enjoy there. They have no culture, no concept of service. in their scriptures. Also, they believe as long as you are Christian, you are authentic Christian, you remain Christian, you will go to heaven and enjoy with the God over there. So again, it's a very hollow concept. Krishna gives a detailed process. You have to remember Krishna at the moment of death to go to Krishna. Once you go there, then you don't have to come back in this material world. Attaining the Supreme is our next section. Remembering Krishna at the moment of death by Yoga Mishra Bhakti, verses 8.9 to 8.13. And 8.14 and 15 talks about remembering Krishna at the moment of death by Kevala Bhakti or Shuddha Bhakti, pure devotional service. 8.14 says, Ananya Chetaha Satatam Yomam Smarati Nityashaha Tasyaham Sulabha Partha Nitya Yuktasya Yogina. For one who always remembers me without deviation, I am easy to obtain, O son of Pratha. Because of his constant engagement in devotional service, he is able to remember me. Why he is able to remember me? Because of his constant engagement in devotional service. So for us to be able to remember Krishna throughout our life, and also hopefully at the end of our life by the mercy of Krishna, we have to be engaged in constant devotional service. We have to be constantly engaged in devotional service, which means devotional service should become part of our day in a substantial way. The hearing, chanting should form part of our daily routine activities without fail. Just like brushing teeth, we should also japa, do japa, chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Just like how we don't miss eating food, we should not miss reading scriptures. And that's how our, and just like how we take bath multiple times, at every possible opportunity we should try to serve Krishna practically, using our talents, using our skills, using our possessions, using our Lakshmi that we have earned by working elsewhere other than for working for Krishna. So using all this, we should serve Krishna. We should hear about Krishna. We should chant Krishna Mahamantra, Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and that why, and if we can do this daily, not occasionally, not from Janmashtami to Janmashtami, uh, but if we do it daily with sincerity, with commitment, in a prayerful, submissive, humble service mood, Krishna says we will attain Krishna. We will attain Krishna. For such person, the devotional service is very easy, and it is success. It will become successful also. Mam upetya punarjanma dukhalayam ashashvatam नाप्नुवन्ति महात्मानः संसिद्धिं परमां गताः. So dukhalayam ashashvatam, mam upetya punarjanma dukhalaya ashashvatam. After attaining me, mam upetya, if you attain Krishna, then you will not want to come back to the material world, deep, dark material world, which is nothing but dukkhalayam and ashashvatam. Dukkhalayam is a temporary, miserable and temporary material world. Miserable and temporary material world. Why will not? Why one want? Why will one want not want to come back to Krishna, or come back to the material world? Because having experienced both, now currently we are in the material world because we don't have, we've forgotten our experience in spiritual world, and therefore we came into the material world searching for eternal happy blissful life, which is available in the spiritual world only. So having come here and having suffered so miserably throughout our life, current life, and we have done the same thing in every life. So having got a bad experience in the material world, once we go back to a spiritual world by remembering Krishna at the moment of our death, we now now we have had two experiences to compare. Now one experience is that of current material world, and we will once in the spiritual world we will have remembrance of that completely, and once that experience, that what we are experiencing in the spiritual world. So of the two, the spiritual world experience will be far more superior, far more fulfilling, and therefore having experienced that, one will not come back to the lower experience, the lower happiness. So one will easily give up lower happiness once they experience the higher happiness. So that's why Krishna is saying that if you attain me, O Arjuna, you will get so much higher happiness that you will not, then you will not want to go back to the material world. Which is nothing but a dukkhalayam. Dukkhalayam means a place where only dukkha is present. A granthalaya means place where granthas are present, the books are there. Pustakalaya. And similarly, dukkhalaya, where there is only dukkha. And ashashvatam, it's temporary. Everything in this world is temporary. This body is temporary, and everything associated with the body is also temporary. All my relatives are temporary. All my possessions are temporary. My qualities are temporary. In my current body, may have developed certain type of qualities. In my next body, I may get completely a different type of qualities. So it is ashashvatam. Now, Krishna is going to say something very significant in the next verse. Krishna is saying that you may think that attaining me, instead of attaining me, um, can you get similar eternal happiness anywhere else? The Krishna says no. Abrahma bhuvanar loka punaravartino Arjuna mamupetyatu kanteya punarjanmana vidyate. Again, um, Krishna saying, so this is, we have given the names of 14 planetary systems. Now, the Bhuloka is where we all are, and below us are Atala, Vitala, Sutala, Talatala, Mahatala, Rasatala, and Patala Loka. So there are 7 lokas below Bhuloka, and then 6 lokas above Bhuloka. And total, there is a 14 planetary system. Above Bhuloka are Bhuvar, Swarg, Mahar, Jana, Tapa, and Satyaloka. Satyaloka is Brahmaji's abode. So that's considered to be the topmost planet in the spirit, in the material world. But Krishna is saying something significant. He's saying that no matter where you go, in these 14 planetary systems, wherever you may go, the Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadhi is present there also. There's no place in this entire creation except for Krishna's abode, except for Vaikuntha. These 4 activities, Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadhi, will be present everywhere. And therefore, even if you elevate yourself to Satyaloka, which is the topmost planet on the in the creation, you will also become old. You will also have sufferings there, and you will also die. And after death, you will have to take birth again. So the cycle of repeated birth and repeated death continues even in the Satyaloka. So when Hiranyakashipu asks Brahmaji that I want to become immortal, Brahmaji says, even I am not immortal. How can I make you immortal? Because Brahmaji will also become old, Brahmaji will also die, and Brahmaji will also get a new body. If Brahmaji, because our Brahmaji is a devotee of Lord Krishna, uh, he is likely to go back to Krishna after quitting this body, and then Krishna will appoint somebody else as Brahma. A new Brahma will come, and then the material affairs will continue. So this verse has a Brahma Bhunar Lokaha Punaravartino Arjuna. Now this line is explained in the next subsequent verses 18 and 19. Now where Krishna is speaking about the beginning of Brahma's day, all the living entities become manifest from the unmanifest state, and thereafter, when the night falls, they are merged into the unmanifest again. Again and again, when Brahma's day arrives, all living entities come into being, and with the arrival of Brahma's night, they are helplessly annihilated. So Abrahma Bhonar Loka means Brahmaji has a vast life as compared to the lot of calculations are given by Prabhupada in the purpose of this verse, which gives mathematically how big Brahmaji's lifespan is. But Prabhupada says, despite of that, that is not sufficient. It is large, but not large enough. It is not, that doesn't make him immortal. So, which means Brahmaji is also subjected to death, subjected to old age, subjected to disease and death, and then he has to take birth as so again. So no one is escaping. So in the 19th verse, Krishna says that in a helplessly, everything is annihilated. When the night of Brahma comes, everything is annihilated helplessly. Um, so, so what should we do? We should remember Krishna and go back to Krishna. Text 20, where Krishna says that yet there is another unmanifest nature, um, which is eternal and is transcendental to this manifested and unmanifested matter. It is supreme and never annihilated. When all in this world is annihilated, the part that part remain as it is. Tad dhamma paramam mama. Krishna says that yet there is another unmanifest nature. Now Krishna is giving information about the spiritual world. Now the material world is already explained how it is the kala mashashvatam. So if anybody in this world on this call is facing any miseries, it's not surprise, because this is we are present in Dukhalaya and Ashashvatam. If anybody experiencing any loss, loss of your loved ones, loss of wealth, loss of talent, loss of abilities, skills gone, all these losses are because everything is temporary. So all those things that you have today will be gone tomorrow. Even your body will be gone tomorrow. You will get a new body. So there is unmanifest. But so this is Dukhalayam Ashashvatam. And Krishna now is giving information about the second part, which is where you will go, where which is on offer to us, which Krishna is offering to us, that you come to this place, yet there is another unmanifest nature which is eternal and is transcendental to this manifested and unmanifested matter, which is transcendental to the manifested matter. It is supreme and it's never annihilated, even when the whole world is annihilated. That part remains as it is. So Vaikuntha planet is never destroyed. Even if the entire creation is destroyed, spiritual world remains as it is. So your quest for eternity. Everyone is searching for eternity. Everyone wants to live forever. So that quest for eternity is fulfilled when you go to spiritual world, because there is no death. There is no experience of death. The body is also spiritual. Therefore, one does not have to change body. Um, and the happiness, that spiritual world one experiences superior quality, eternal happiness. So one, it is eternal and it is happy. So that state one can attain after quitting one's body while remembering Krishna. And that Krishna says in 21st verse, that which the Vedantis described as unmanifest and unfallible, that which is known as the supreme destination, that place from which, having attained it, one never returns, that is my supreme abode. Krishna says that is my supreme abode. And so again, a very beautiful way Krishna is giving information about his own home, his Golok Vrindavan, Vaikuntha planet, where having gone once, one never returns. Text 22, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is greater than all, is attainable by unalloyed devotion. Krishna can only be attained by devotion, not by meditation, not by karma yoga, jnana yoga, or dhyana yoga. He can only be attained by bhakti yoga. Bhakti, which is performed in humble, submissive mood. Bhakti, which is performed by, by keeping aside our ego. Bhakti, which is performed constantly without deviation. Bhakti, which is performed in a very submissive spirit. Now, that in a service, loving service attitude. Now, that bhakti, once having performed, Krishna says, is sufficient to take you back to the spiritual world. So, bhakti, only devotees can understand Krishna. Although he is present in this abode, In his abode, he is all pervading and everything is situated within him. The last part, devotion. Now, in this case, the Krishna is speaking that although the devotees know these two paths, Arjuna, they are never bewildered. Therefore, be always fixed in devotion. Vedeshu yajneshu tapesu chaiva daneshu yat punya phalam pradishtham atyati tatsarva midam viditva yogi param sthanopeti chadyam. A person who accepts the path of devotional service is not bereft of the result derived from studying the Vedas, performing sacrifices, undergoing austerities, and giving charities, or pursuing philosophical and creative activities. Simply by performing devotional service, he has attained all these, and at the end, he reaches his supreme destination, his supreme abode, reaches the supreme abode, supreme eternal abode. So Krishna is reconfirming that whatever other means that are available that you may think that one may do, one may undertake in order to remember Krishna constantly and go back to Krishna, or ending the cycle of repeated birth and death, whatever other means one may have thought of, Krishna says if you perform devotional service, you will get benefits of all of those. So that way we'll conclude today's session by providing you with the information facility for hearing and chanting, so that you can start and end your day by remembering Krishna throughout the day. Also, then you can remember Krishna, and that way you can show your sincerity to Krishna, and with the help of Krishna, by the mercy of Krishna, you will remember Krishna at the end of your life, and you will go back to Krishna. We'll end today's session. We'll wait for if anyone has any question answers, or otherwise we can close today's session. Go to the chat box.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी, प्रणाम
हरे
प्रभु जी।
कृष्णा.
प्रभु जी, मैं हिंदी में पूछूं क्या?
हाँ हाँ, यस यस.
प्रभु जी, अभी आपने जो बोला है अटैचमेंट करके, मतलब हमारे फैमिली मेंबर्स के प्रति हम लोग को अटैचमेंट होता है ना, तो ऐसे ये जो मतलब अभी हम लोग को ऐसा लगता है ना, हम भी डिवोटी बन रहे हैं तो हमारे फैमिली मेंबर्स भी डिवोटी बने, मतलब मन में यही रहता है। हम तो मैं तो अभी इतना बनी नहीं हूँ, पर अभी ज्यादा करके ऐसा लगता है कि ये बने, ये हो जाए, तो ये अटैचमेंट ऐसा ज्यादा करके दिन मन में यही रहता है। तो अभी अभी एंड ऑफ द लाइफ भी ऐसा यही अटैचमेंट रहेगा, तो फिर
So, जैसे कि if we become devotee, or as you rightly said, we are trying to become devotee, हम devotee बनने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं, तो इसमें क्या होता है कि naturally when you like Bhagavad Gita, when you like chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra, when you like talking to devotees, you uh, find everything so nice in devotion. Natural instinct is to share it with your loved ones. वो तो नेचुरली होगा, क्योंकि यू विल फील कि अच्छा आपको कुछ बेनिफिट मिल रहा है, तो आपके यू विल वांट टू एक्सटेंड दैट बेनिफिट टू अदर्स. But not everyone will be able to accept the benefit, the spiritual subjects in the as it is way. So everyone will be able to take it as per their capacity. So we can definitely introduce everyone to Bhagavad Gita, or Bhagavad Gita philosophy, or japa, but not everyone will accept it in the same way. So how can we do? What can we do? We can engage them to the best of their ability. Whatever they can do, we should ask them to do. For example, प्रसाद तो सभी खा सकते हैं, isn't it? So that we should be able to do. We should be able to offer food to Krishna every day, cook food offerable in a sattvic food. Every day we can cook, we can offer bhoga to Krishna, and we can give everybody as prasad. So even your daily meal like roti, sabzi, dal, rice can become prasad. Now that way, knowingly, unknowingly also, they are eating prasad. They are getting connected with Krishna. So even if they are not hearing philosophy, they are leading their life according to verse 3.13, where Krishna says that yajna shishtasana santo मुच्यन्ते सर्व किल विषय. So उनके भी पापों का नाश हो रहा है. So like if they are favorable, if they become more favorable, you can give them more, you can ask them to attend these classes also. But if they are not so favorable, this is way you can somehow or anyhow get them connected with Krishna, and that way their journey back to Krishna begins. Will it end can it also end with the end of this life? Maybe, may not be, but at least devotional service is never lost. So they will pick up, they will again meet devotees in their next life, and they will continue from where they have left off. So we have to do our part. Our part is primarily to take care of our sadhana, and as we purify ourselves, as we progress a little bit in bhakti, we should try and give it to others also, and that way we will Krishna says, such devotees are most dear to me, who are trying to give Krishna to others. Krishna is very valuable, but Prabhupada had Krishna with him, but Krishna Prabhupada was more worried about people like us who don't have Krishna with us. So Prabhupada, though had Krishna, he stepped out of Vrindavan to distribute Krishna to others. Similarly, at every available opportunity, we should distribute Krishna to others. And that work of distribution of Krishna um, can be done in many ways. And that work is extremely dear to Krishna. So we become very dear to Krishna if we can if we can participate in this activity of distributing Krishna to others, giving Krishna to others, giving Krishna to other souls who are currently not aware of Krishna, who are suffering miserably without, because they don't know anything about Krishna. अगर हम उनको कृष्णा दे पाए तो कृष्णा, not only that soul get the benefit, but we get extra benefit, because now Krishna becomes very happy with us. Now we are assisting Krishna in his mission of bringing all souls back to Krishna. सो दैट इज हाउ वी शुड डू. उसमें दो चीजें हमें क्यों करनी है कि एक तो हमारी साधना अच्छी करनी है. वी हैव टू ensure that we do our part well, our sadhana is very intact and done very diligently, and to the extent possible, जैसा जिसका nature है वो देख के we can engage others in the service of Krishna. If somebody is very enthusiastic, give them Bhagavad Gita, ask them to attend classes, ask them to give them feedback, ask them to start chanting japa along with you tomorrow. But if one is not so open, have many misconceptions, give them prasad, take them to bring them to temple, ask them to be ask somebody else to speak with them. That is best. We can't preach to our loved ones. It is at times can be very difficult, awkward, but but somebody else can preach to them. So get somebody else to speak with your parents, with your family members, so that they can convince him, and even if they can come to Krishna, they can come to temple, they can hear some classes, hear some katha, do some harinam, that their journey back home has begun already, and you have become instrument in that. So Krishna will become pleased with that service also. So this is devotional service, this is practical service of bringing different souls back to Krishna, giving them Krishna. Bringing Krishna into their life is a service that we can all perform. And that way it's natural that we have this inclination, desire to give Krishna to others, but we have to do it tactfully. So जैसे जिसका nature है इसका हिसाब से उसको देना है. And for further guidance, we can obviously speak with us, speak with me, speak with other devotees, and we can help you in this journey. Okay.
Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you. Hare Krishna. Kanchan Mataji, you have a question?
Yeah, Jai Shri Krishna Prabhuji. I just wanted to ask that, as we know, everybody knows that death is inevitable and it is about to come at any time. It is uncertain also, it is inevitable also, and can come anytime, unpredictable. But then why we are so scared when we talk about death?
Scared, fear about death comes from uncertainty of future.
But then
Uh,
everybody knows that we are going to
no,
die. We are
future
not
is not.
immortal, right?
No.
Yeah.
Future is not about dying. What happens after death? That is the future that I'm referring to. So if
Okay.
you happen to be in love with a person, and the families know each other, you know that person, And after a few years of courtship, you're going to get married and go to the house of that new person. Now there is anxiety, but there's no fear, there's no uncertainty. The fear comes from uncertainty, and also from the attachment to the current environment. So our body, the soul gets attached to the body and everything that the body possesses, and therefore giving that up, unless, so when will you give up your father's home? When you know that there is a superior happiness awaits you, then you will happily, you will have some, obviously you will have some negative sentiments that you're, because you were born here, you grew up here, you have all your loved ones here, but you also are anxious to go and experience that also. So there is a sweet anxiety that awaits you, which doesn't make you fearful, but it makes you anxious. But you have some some pain, some while giving up this also is slightly painful, but you're looking forward to the new world that is beginning. So similarly, a devotee, when he quits body, if he has practiced devotional service sufficiently, it is possible to be to be affectionate but not attached to our loved ones. It is possible to be affectionate but not attached to our loved ones, knowing fully that even they can depart and we can depart, so that our separation is destined. So we can be affectionate, caring, and loving, but not still attached. Now, if we are not attached, when the moment of death will come, we will be able to withdraw our mind from all these surrounding issues and concentrate on our goal, that is Krishna. So at this stage, now a devotee know the from the practice of having so the spiritual happiness, it's not that you get spiritual happiness only when you go to spiritual world. You will experience spiritual happiness even while doing japa in the morning, even while reading, hearing Krishna Katha from pure devotees, even while singing and dancing in kirtan in the temple. Like yesterday, we had Dinbandhu Prabhuji, we class by Dinbandhu Prabhuji, and he sing one this nice famous bhajan, Jai Jai Radhe Jai Jai Sham, Jai Jai Shri Vrindavan Dham, and he make everyone stand and dance in that kirtan till you are, you're tired, and then you're fed with prasad. So if you happen to have participated in any such sankirtan kirtan where you have sang and sing out loud and dance out loud in the kirtan, you instantly can experience spiritual happiness. So spiritual happiness is not any abstract concept for a devotee. They are experiencing it every day. So for them, they have assurance that they will go to spiritual world, and therefore they don't have much anxiety. They know that they have services awaiting them in the spiritual world also. So, and they are more looking forward to do those services in association with Krishna. They know they will meet their other devotees there. They will know, they know they're going to go and meet Krishna there. And for that, they are far more excited and far more anxious and happy. So, so the devotee, when they leave their body, no, they're not fearful, even though at a bodily level the functions of body must be closing. There is inconvenience, but there is no uh, there is no other anxiety, there's no fear, because of the assurance what's going to come next.
So the devotion is essential if you want to come out of the fear of death.
Devotion is essential if you want to, yes, devotion and the spiritual practice. Devotion comes from, it's like a small faith. With faith you are now associating with devotees. Now devotees are telling you to do sadhana. Sadhana is your hearing and chanting. When you do sadhana, you actually get spiritual happiness firsthand. You experience Krishna firsthand, and by doing that, your faith deepens. The faith become conviction, and this is devotion. That is devotion. Devotion is not just initial sentiment. The devotion is based on the foundation of knowledge, and that devotion is firm devotion.
So, in short, when I speak to somebody and when I talk about death, I am not fearful because I have been listening to this since my from my ancestors as well, that death is inevitable and it is going to come. We talked so casually about that, but when we speak to somebody else who's not from our family, many times I get a feeling, oh, how you should not utter this word of death also from your mind. So, does that signifies that there is a lack of devotion in their life and they should be sent some or guided something
Yes, Mataji,
spiritually?
absolutely.
Spiritually?
Death is an event, just like marriage. You make so many
Hmm.
preparations for marriage. How many?
Yeah,
So if death people don't even want to talk about, how are they going to prepare for death?
correct.
So people don't know how to handle death, and that's why they may end up wherever they just leave it for a matter of chance. So somebody may leave their body thinking about some eating object, thinking about some property, thinking about any relationship, a soul relationship that they might have had. So whatever they so the law of last thought is known only to the devotees. Now Bhagavad Gita is distributed wide and across. This verse you will find in every Bhagavad Gita, whichever Bhagavad Gita publication that you will pick up.
Hmm.
But it is not that anyone is focusing on this law or the law of last thought, because they don't know. That's the benefit of studying bona fide Bhagavad Gita from in the parampara, where Krishna will speak and the devotee will explain exactly the exact meaning of that verse. They will not add or suppress or glorify anything of their choice. They will just present the message as it is. This is the benefit of studying Bhagavad Gita in parampara. Obviously those devotees, those people who don't talk even want to talk about death, obviously they are not prepared for death. They have no preparation for death. Even if death occurs in front of their eyes, they will have no ability to, they don't even know that you have to remember Krishna. So how will they facilitate anybody remembering Krishna? So it's very miserable. So we have to bring this practically into life, and we practically have tried doing it to the extent possible wherever we had our authorities. We witnessed departure of our mother of our one of our senior devotee, and we so at around 7 a.m., it became clear that probably she will leave her body during that day. And so she was at home, so all the devotees assembled. We did non-stop kirtan in the home. We all sat around her. The medical team was working anyway, but
Hmm. Hmm.
we continued doing kirtan throughout the day. She left her body at around 11:30 or 12, around that time in the day. And then during the last procession also, the everything, so she heard, the soul heard kirtan all throughout the day. And the live kirtan, the devotees were sitting next to her, and performing kirtan. We made her wear a nice tilak, offered her garland from Radha Rasbihari temple, uh, gave her Nasima oil, many other things, spiritual objects. Her body was decorated with spiritual objects, and like that, she had a glorious departure. Uh, Continuously hearing Krishna Kirtan, and that went on till the end, till the fire was lit and the whole
Combination.
cremation took place. Now continuously devotees were chanting in kirtan. The mridanga was being played, even in the smashan bhumi. So it's a glorious departure. Now such
And
departure
even
is
after
a
that,
celebration. Sorry.
sorry to interrupt. In between also, after the death also, after the incrimination also, cremation ceremony also, like we do perform rituals, some rituals for 12 days. So whatever chanting, whatever part we do, that we keep sometimes Garuda part, we read Bhagavad Gita at that time. That also contribute to their elevation.
The soul remains. As we've constantly been saying, that the destruction is that of a body. Now the soul has already come out of body. Now soul
Mm,
doesn't leave the place for next 13 days. Soul is around. Soul is
mm,
watching. That's why the body is burned, so that the final spring of attachment is also gone. Now I
mm,
cannot enter this body again. Soul cannot also enter into other people's body because their
mm,
souls are prevailing.
mm,
Now the soul is made to wait for next 12,
Mm.
13 days, and his journey
Mm.
back to Yamloka begins on the 13th day. So that's why we have rituals to be done in those 12 days, which are very important uh, processes, in important functions and rituals and traditions. As per tradition, everybody should do whatever had their traditions has been prescribing to do, and along with that we should do Harinam. Along with that, we
Mm.
should chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra. We should play
Mm.
Kirtan 24/7 inside the home.
Mm.
We should,
Mm.
because the home is the place to which the soul is attached to,
Mm.
and the soul will come back and stay in the home for where it has spent maximum duration of time in during one's lifetime, or where the people whom he has loved the most they reside. Now that's the place where the soul is likely to be present. So play kirtan there continuously, um, and lit a lamp. Read Bhagavad Gita, read Harinam, uh,
Mm.
play Bhagavatam tapes if you have those. And like that, keep environment spiritual,
Mm.
and that way soul continue to hear Krishna Katha, soul continue to hear Harinam, and that way that benefits soul's consciousness, that improves his consciousness as his journey back becomes easier. even if Even if he was not a pure devotee, even if we don't feel he probably would have remembered Krishna while giving up his body, he can still get a birth in a devotee family, and that way his journey towards Krishna can become easier in his next birth. So even if we can do that, that's great service for that soul, and that's how we should arrange for every departure uh, to be Krishna conscious. So we can try and make every departure as Krishna conscious as possible. And if when the pure devotees goes, they chant Hare Krishna and then they leave their body. So for them, when Maharaj left his body on the 5th of May, um, it was celebrated. That event was celebrated because we knew that Maharaj went back to Krishna. Maharaj has done so much for Krishna, and at the time of death also he chanted Hare Krishna and left his body. He will go back to Krishna. So his death is followed by a celebration where a feast is served to the devotees in Vrindavan. On the 6th May, there was a feast that was arranged by all his disciples, where they fed the whole town of Vrindavan with scrumptious feast on the occasion of Maharaj leaving this world and going back to the spiritual world. So it becomes a matter of celebration when pure devotees leave their bodies.
One last question related to this only, if time allows. Otherwise, I'll just park that question for later. I'm unable to hear you, Prabhuji.
Yeah, we'll go to Sachi Mataji and we'll come back to you, Mataji,
Okay,
if time
okay,
permits.
okay.
We have
Sure.
a couple of more hands raised, so we'll
Ji,
see.
Dandat Pranam, Prabhuji.
Danatranam. Sachi, yes.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat
Hare Krishna.
Pranam. So my question is like you said we can give our family members if they are non-devotee prasadam and we can give them Bhagavad Gita to read. But sometimes it's like the way we try to give them Bhagavad Gita knowledge, they want us back the way we used to be before practicing devotional service. Sometimes they speak harsh words and it becomes tough to, be with them. So it's like they are not willing to hear and they want us also to stop doing devotional services, whatever we are doing. So, how can we be unaffected by their words and their actions and continue doing our practice?
So again, the specific instances we can discuss in a person, but general guidance is that we don't ideally try not to preach to your own family members. It's like you go to school, you expect to learn from the teacher, but it's not the other way around. When a student enter classroom, teacher is not saying that thinking that, oh, I learned something nice from this teacher, this student. Is correct? You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, Prabhu.
So when we are like a children and our parents are like parents, they have seen us from our right from our birth. So at this stage, they're they're least expecting to learn about anything from us, especially about the spiritual matters, because generally everyone believe that they know it better than others, because based on whatever knowledge that they have developed certain practices, and they are not doing other practices because they don't consider those to be very important. So uh, so this is so the learning cannot happen when it is least expected, at a least expected place. So a school learning, a teacher cannot learn from a student, they don't, because she's not expecting that to happen. So so it is best to allow somebody else to preach to our family members. Somebody could be of their age, or could be even elder, or but any third person preaching, that becomes effective. That's a general principle that we can use. If we can't, then we can try, but if we can't, then we should not insist, because there is a conflict. It's, if a student come to a classroom and start teaching the teacher that what you're teaching is all wrong and this is what is right, and this, that, I heard this here, I heard this there, then the teacher is going to say shut up and get out, or get out of my class. So that's what is going to happen most likely. So a teacher is not really expecting to learn from teachers. That's why we should not preach to our parents. We should allow somebody else to do that. That is one. And how do we handle in case of unfavorable conditions? There the unfavorable conditions are everywhere. You travel on the highway and you will see underwear advertisements being put up with with right staring into your face. On the big hoardings are put up with the movie and everything else. All those nonsense is there in front of you. You just can't avoid. Now it's in the middle of all this. We all live in cities, and where this nonsense garbage just cannot be avoided, which means even distractions are there also. Wherever we go, we will find distractions, and our people at home, they're not us, they're not very happy that we should practice Krishna consciousness. Even they are no different. By practicing Krishna consciousness, when we when there will be visible difference, that is no, that will be visible in us. Will become more calm, uh, more peaceful. We can become, if we chant seriously, if we apply the teachings sincerely, we become more determined, we become truthful, we become peaceful, we become happy. And this change is not unnoticed by our loved ones, and we will remain undisturbed in difficult situations, also during our achievements. In happiness and distress, we will find a middle path where we are happy, at the same time we are not overly joyous, and we are, whenever things go wrong, we are also thinking, okay, this is what Krishna wants, let me do what best I can, or else I can just be tolerant. So we again, don't go, we our behavior remains flat, even though while we are going through the ups and downs of our life. Now this is not go unnoticed, people will notice it, and then at times people will inquire with us that what is the secret. कोई suddenly weight lose करके आता है, तो लोग, काफी लोग पूछते हैं क्या किया तुमने, कैसे weight lose किया. So similarly, even these things, people will notice, and eventually, that time you can tell them about this, that you did this and you found it very useful. If you want, you can also try. Now, this way, you can preach indirectly to your loved ones. That not preaching in the direct way, but in an indirect way, through your own demonstration of your own uh, modified version of yourself, so that, which is very attractive, which is very, anybody who is peaceful, anybody who we see is having good control of over their mind and senses and their thoughts, very thoughtful, very truthful, good integrity, trustworthy, such person is is rare to found, rare to be found today. And if we become that person, we will become popular. Why not? And anybody who is popular will become attractive, so people will find things different in us, and that way people will can inquire us with us that what is the secret because of which this has happened, and that time we can share about Krishna consciousness, that I have done this because of these are the benefits that I'm experiencing by doing it. But direct preaching to loved ones, if they are able to listen, well and good. If not, you avoid, you be strategic. And how do we practice in the midst of all the negativity? We'll feel negativity everywhere. So don't worry. Your office boss will be a negativity. You can't change everyone. So keep practicing. And eventually people, Krishna will arrange, facilitate practice of your Krishna consciousness, seeing your devotion and your dedication. So leave results to Krishna. Okay.
Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare
Yeah.
Krishna.
Hare
Dandavat
Krishna.
pranam.
Dandavat pranam. So Kanchan, you can ask your question. I think there's nobody else in the queue.
Yeah, just Krishna Prabhuji. I was just asking that even if the person has not been a devotee for a lifetime, and even if he has not accumulated a good karmas, does the last rituals which are done for the 12 days after his death, his or her death, contribute to the peaceful journey of his back to the supreme God?
So it facilitates his journey, the soul's journey back to Yamloka. Now, that's where the account will be done. The Garuda Purana explains us that the soul reaches Yamloka, and then there the next destination is determined. That journey typically starts on the 13th day and completes by 1 year.
Hmm.
And that's where the 1 year rituals are also considered very important. And from then onwards, the soul is awarded a new body depending on the accumulated karma, and accordingly his journey continues in the next body. But it is recommended that all our rituals should be done as per the tradition, whichever whatever we have followed. If the and it is helpful in their journey, definitely, and as benefits are passed on, Brahman Bhojan especially. So if you see all the rituals that are done, which is nothing but Vishnu Puja. And
Hmm.
if you are a devotee, you will be doing that every day. You will be offering bhoga, you will be offering food basically to the Lord every
Hmm.
day if you're doing it.
Hmm.
So for you, for a devotees of Lord, the what is done on a Shraddha ceremony is done only once. But
Hmm.
for devotees, they're doing it daily. They're daily offering food to Krishna. So for them, this becomes a practically daily ritual. And so that definitely their ancestors or the departed souls in their family gets a lot more benefit, because now the food is being offered to Krishna for their remembrance. That
Hmm.
is very auspicious, so it should be done throughout one's first year, at least it should be done. And it gives benefit to the departed soul, definitely. But
Hmm.
ultimately soul will takes its own journey based on its own activities. So we can't perform devotional activities for others. We can create a facility, we can give knowledge, we can
Hmm.
create facility so that they practice.
Hmm.
And even if we practice and we can pray for them, and Krishna can be merciful and give them facility for practice, more facility for practice, making practice very easy. But if they choose not to practice, it's their free will. Now Krishna can't force them to do japa. That's not very. So if as a father, I can make a rule that in my family, that all my children should come and love me. They should come and say that Papa, I love you. Then only they get dinner. I can make that rule because I'm the father. I'm the karta of this home. And if my children really want food, no, they will be, yeah, they will have to say, "Oh, Papa, I love you," and then eat dinner. But that
Hmm.
is not love, right? This is
Correct.
forcing. I can't force people to love me. But when they
Hmm.
spontaneously come and they say, Papa, I love you, oh, that is real love. That gives happiness. The first instance is not really, I may just fulfill my ego by making them say that they love me, but I know that they are not loving me. They are loving their food, because their attachment is with the food. They say that they know if they don't say this line, they are not going to get dinner, so they will say rather that. So it's not, that's not love. So even Krishna doesn't want that kind of a love. We can't force people to love him, but he's giving them facility. He's giving them opportunity. He's giving them knowledge, using which, he's hopeful that they will love him. and the devotees are facilitating that. So that's why he's very attached to those devotees. He loves those devotees who are spreading Krishna consciousness, because then that is creating a possibility of another soul coming back to Krishna.
मुझे एक और चीज लगती है कि जब हम एज वी डिस्कस दैट आफ्टर 1 year रिचुअल्स आर डन, देन द सोल इज ऑन अनदर जर्नी इन सम अदर बॉडी. सो कई बार ऐसे मुझे लगता है कि हम लोग जो पितृपक्ष करते हैं या पितरों को याद करके जब हम कोई पूजा करते हैं या किसी को दान देते हैं, जब किसी की याद आती है तो हम उनके लिए कुछ करते हैं, पूजा करते हैं या पाठ रखते हैं, जो भी. तो वो भी उनको किसी न कहीं इस लाइफ टाइम में, जब उनका नेक्स्ट लाइफ टाइम स्टार्ट हो चुका है, उसमें भी वो हेल्पफुल रहता है. जैसे कई बार ऐसा फील करती हूँ कि बहुत डिस्ट्रेस में हूँ या कुछ प्रॉब्लम में हूँ, एंड सडनली हेल्प कम फ्रॉम, इवन इफ आई एम नॉट रिमेम्बरिंग गॉड एट दैट टाइम, but I am receiving the help. It might be that somebody else is remembering me in that role and he is offering something which is coming to me right now. Is that
That's
thinking
true.
correct? Or
So that's why during Pitru Paksha, which will begin immediately after the Anant Chaturdashi, the 15 days
yeah,
period, Pitru Paksha will
yeah.
begin just next week. It will be
Hmm,
that.
hmm, hmm,
So it is recommended that we do offering for the departed souls in our family, at
hmm,
least one generation. My
hmm,
parents are no more, so i
hmm.
i will donate for their I will do brahman bhojan, I'll do sponsor of
Whatever
feast
possible as
devotees,
per the
whatever
capacity and
possible
the,
as
yeah,
whatever
yeah,
one can have.
yeah,
One
yeah.
should give, one should do some dan and
Hmm,
feed people. That's annadan is considered to be the highest, one of the highest dan. So if do something as per your capacity, do something during these 15 days. And
hmm,
that too, if you can do it according to your tithi of the departed soul, that's great.
hmm.
Otherwise, you can do it on the Sarva Pitri Amasya.
Yeah,
That way, that results in the benefits being passed on to the departed soul in their next body as well. And it can come in any form, as you rightly described. It can come in form of, it can come in subtle way, whichever body they might be in, they can suddenly get some sukruti, some benefit that they will
hmm,
experience, which they will feel as if it has come from nowhere. We
hmm,
sometimes we all experience that, as if
yeah,
help come from nowhere suddenly,
hmm,
and that is the result of somebody doing that offering for us, somebody praying for us.
yeah. And we should also read the scriptures like Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam especially during the Pitra Paksh, because I think that will be helpful for their devotional journey as well in the new body.
That it will be primarily helpful for us to
Hmm,
to be in the right consciousness, and it will be helpful to for all our departed souls also, when we do it with a desire, as a prayer to be offered to them.
hmm,
So otherwise, primarily it should be read every day. We have
yeah,
two groups where we know a lot of
hmm,
devotees read Bhagavad Gita every day, and they post their reading, one
yeah,
verse, two verse, five pages, whatever they do. So
hmm,
daily people post there, because it's primarily, we have to remember. I mean, this primarily. So we get bombarded with so much nonsense in the material world, where everyone is trying to convince us that you are your body and you should enjoy body with the senses.
hmm,
This is a contrary message. This is a completely opposite message to the Bhagavad Gita.
hmm,
And hence we should also read Bhagavad Gita every day, because we will not stop roaming around in the world. We'll
hmm,
go out, we'll go to the stations, we'll go to highway, we will see people, we will meet, we'll watch television, we'll do everything. And where we will get bombarded with all this nonsense. So we have to have a reminder to ourselves that we are not this body, we are spirit soul, and we have to love and serve Krishna, and remember Krishna throughout our life, and we have to remember Krishna at the end of our life. Now this remembrance of this repeated, this this message has to be repeated to us also every day, because
hmm.
the opposite message is getting delivered to us every day. So that way, this
It's
when
kind
we
of a daily cleansing.
daily cleansing, yeah, absolutely, a daily reminder to ourselves.
Yeah.
Okay.
And how to be a part of that daily Srimad Bhagavad or Bhagavad Gita recitation group? Can you
It's a
please add?
reading group. We'll include you.
Yeah.
You can send me message and I'll add you in the group
Okay.
so that you can also post
Oh,
your readings.
yeah.
Yes, Mili
Okay.
Mataji and Sadhna
Thank
Mataji.
you.
Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी।
Yes, Mataji.
प्रभु जी लाइक जैसे अभी डिस्कशन हो रहा था कि डेथ है ना, तो जहां तक मेरी समझ है, हम अपने डेथ से शायद नहीं घबराते जितना हम ये सोचते कि हमारे जाने के बाद हमारे बिलावेड का क्या होगा। लाइक आई हैव अ स्पेशल चाइल्ड, तो मैं सोचती हूँ कि मैं मेरे डेथ के बाद इसका क्या होगा, इसकी देखभाल कौन करेगा, हाउ विल ही सर्वाइव। तो शायद इसी ये सोच हमें ज्यादा डराती है।
Many anxieties हो सकती है. One of the anxiety could be this. Another anxiety could be उसका मतलब father departs, is about to depart. He will be thinking कि मेरी लड़कियों का शादी कैसे होगा, छोटी छोटी बच्चियां हैं, मतलब so there could be many anxieties in this world. But what we forget is that our our maintenance is as a parent is our responsibility, our child's maintenance, and as a supreme parent it's responsibility of Krishna also. So he's also maintaining everyone ultimately.
ये हमें खुद को समझाना पड़ेगा, है ना।
Correct. So that's why the
हाँ,
daily reading of Bhagavad Gita becomes very helpful. That even when the child was in the womb, he was fed, and so is everyone else is fed. Even from ant to elephant, to every human being, they are all fed according to their karma. Whatever they are supposed to get, they are there. It's been delivered to them, and we become instrument in that. So we are not more than instrument, nothing more than instrument. I'm not feeding my child. I'm not. Um, I'm the children are interested to me, given to me as a custodian. So I'm taking good care of them. I ultimately know that they are children of Krishna. Ultimately, just like how I am child of Krishna. So anxieties can be many. And as I said, property related anxieties भी होती है, काफी होती है. Business related anxieties होती है, loans होते हैं, relationship issues होते हैं. There could be numerous anxieties one may have. So definitely वो होता है. That's where the emotional closures are critical. But the fear of death comes from more from the future, uncertain future. Because वो भी तो नहीं पता होता है ना. When if you
यस
are
प्रभु
happen to
जी।
be a non-devotee, आपको तो पता ही नहीं क्या
हम्म,
होगा. Then we say बाकी सबका होता है वही मेरा होगा.
हाँ,
We can draw that kind of a simplistic conclusion, but that is also not true because the world may nothing is ad hoc. The whole world is driven by rules. So this is the law of lost thought is also a rule that we have to understand and we have to act accordingly. अगर वो blindly हम जंप करेंगे 10th स्टोरी बिल्डिंग से तो नीचे गिरेंगे. सो वी कांट से दैट कि हमें नहीं पता था लॉ ऑफ ग्रेविटी भी है. सो सिमिलरली वी कांट से दैट लॉ ऑफ लॉस्ट थॉट कहाँ लिखा है हमको नहीं पता बिकॉज भगवत स्क्रिप्चर्स आर अवेलेबल विथ एवरीवन. People are just keeping them in cupboard, not reading is not Krishna's fault.
यस प्रभु जी।
That's all.
प्रभु जी सेकेंडली और एक जो डिस्कशन चल रही थी कि that वही वी कैन ask for forgiveness, we can we can give forgiveness, we can ask for forgiveness। तो कहीं पे मैंने ऐसे सुना था प्रभु जी कि when somebody on a death bed and he or she is struggling, तो उनको उनको आप ये बोलो कि मतलब चाहे आप आवाज से बोलो या मन ही मन बोलो कि नहीं, यू आर अ वेरी गुड सोल, you have done enough for yourself, you have done very good for the family, you have done very good for the society, so that will help the soul to depart। तो
डिपार्ट नहीं मतलब क्या होता है माता जी कि emotionally one has to conclude emotional dealings with the body. और अगर जब तक वो खत्म नहीं होता है स्पिरिचुअल डजंट बिगिन.
ओके, हाँ हाँ,
सो आप इमोशंस में ही फंसे रहेंगे तो आप स्पिरिचुअल की तरफ जाएंगे नहीं.
जाएंगे नहीं, यस।
तो उसको जाने के लिए ये कंक्लूजन्स करना बाकी जैसे आप ये कंक्लूड करना बड़ा इंपॉर्टेंट है. एंड इफ यू हैपन टू बी अ डिवोटी, इफ यू आर अ डिवोटी, इफ यू हर्ड कृष्णा कॉन्शियसनेस इन sufficiently, even at times even as a person also if when our time may come, we may get entangled in that. कि अच्छा मेरी बेटी का ब्याह नहीं हुआ है, मैंने यहाँ पे इतना पैसा रखा है, वो पता नहीं इन लोगों को पता भी है कि नहीं, यहाँ पे 4 बैंक अकाउंट खोल कर रखे थे, शायद उसका मैंने यही नहीं किया है, नॉमिनेशन नहीं किया होगा, तो पता नहीं ये लोग का क्या करेंगे, मेरे पासवर्ड्स कहाँ है, मेरा फोन कहाँ है. देयर कुड बी न्यूमरस एंग्जाइटीज दैट वन पर्सन may have. Emotional closure में क्या होता है कि we assure and we should explicitly say this to a person of if we get a chance on the deathbed to that we will take care of the anxieties, or the either giving forgiveness or begging for asking for forgiveness, depending on how, if the person is younger or older. But when we do that, the soul, agar if that is one thing that is holding them back, then soul get released from that anxiety, and then he can think, acha, what next? I have to now think about Krishna.
Yes, yeah.
So अगर ये खत्म, काम जैसे ऑफिस का काम खत्म हो तो अब हमारा ऑफिस घर का काम शुरू हो जाता है ना, वैसे है ये. these are anxieties, once these are taken care of, you can focus, shift your mind to something more important. So for doing that, for facilitate, हम तो facilitate कर रहे हैं ये, we are facilitators more than हम उस वक्त शायद कुछ भी नहीं कर रहे हैं, हम जस्ट एश्योरेंस दे रहे हैं कि, या वर्ड से बोल रहे हैं कि हमें कोई गिला शिकवा नहीं है, नो, आई एम ओके विद व्हाटएवर. हम, बिकॉज काफी रिलेशनशिप स्ट्रेन होते हैं, झगड़े होते हैं, कई साल लोग बोलते नहीं है एक दूसरे से, एंड ऑल दैट हैपेंस. बट इफ यू हैपन टू मीट दैट पर्सन ऑन द डेथ बेड, यू कैन से दैट I think it was foolish for my part that I did something like this, or I'm okay. आपने नहीं बात की मुझसे, but मेरा, I am no grudges against you. इस तरह से we can assure them, and then that can help them take care of that anxiety. They can move to another topic, which is remembering Krishna.
Right, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Okay.
Thanks a lot.
you.
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna.
Prabhuji.
I have 2-3 more questions we'll take. साधना माता जी.
हाँ, हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी.
हरे
अभी हम
कृष्णा.
लोग ये जो जर्नी अभी शुरू किया है कृष्णा कॉन्शियसनेस का, फॉर एग्जांपल अगर रुक भी गए, हम लोग नहीं कर पाए, फिर बाद में हम लोग ऐसे मटेरियली हो गए, फिर उसके बाद हमारा डेथ हो गया, फिर हमारा मतलब नेक्स्ट क्या होगा, मतलब फिर ये स्पिरिचुअलिटी मतलब थोड़ा ही कर चुके, ज्यादा किए नहीं, मतलब जैसा करना है वैसे नहीं किया, ऐसे थोड़े थोड़े कभी कभी ऐसा मन किया तो मतलब हमारे कंफर्ट के हिसाब से किए ऐसा. मैं अभी मैं मतलब थोड़ा हमारे यहाँ पे एक सेंटर है, थोड़ा कनेक्टेड हूँ, लेकिन मैं ऐसा, मुझे ऐसा लग रहा है कि मैं मेरे कंफर्ट के हिसाब से ही कर रही हूँ, कि ऐसा मेरा खुद से एंडेवर नहीं कर पा रही हूँ, मतलब बहुत तमो, ऐसा एकदम लेजी हूँ ऐसा लग रहा है. मुझे डर ही लगता है कि मैं क्या इससे छूट, ये स्पिरिचुअल पाथ से मैं छूट जाऊंगी, ऐसा डर बहुत लगता है, डरती हूँ. और जो भी गलती है जब बार बार रिपीट ही होता है, वही गलती होता है मेरा, मतलब जो नहीं करना गलती, मतलब स्पिरिचुअली गलती करती हूँ, मतलब अभी पॉइंट आउट नहीं करना है किसी को, लेकिन मैं सोच के जाती हूँ फैमिली में जा रही हूँ तो नहीं करना है पॉइंट आउट, और कुछ बोले तो मन पे नहीं लेना है, लेकिन फिर वो टाइम पे पता नहीं ले लेती हूँ, फिर मेरा ही प्रॉब्लम होता है, मेरा चैंटिंग में ही मुझे प्रॉब्लम होता है, मुझे ही ज्यादा प्रॉब्लम हो जाता है, मतलब वहां पे कुछ बोलती नहीं हूँ, मतलब वहां पे डर जाती हूँ, फिर यहाँ के सब मन में बहुत ये कर लेती हूँ. 2 क्वेश्चन है प्रभु जी मेरा, फिर ऐसा ऐसा गिर जाए फिर बाद में क्या होगा ऐसा.
करेक्ट. सो जैसे कृष्णा ने बताया ना 2.40 में कि डिवोशनल सर्विस वंस यू स्टार्ट, इट इज नेवर लॉस्ट. सो आप मान लो मटेरियलिस्ट भी बन गए, मतलब कंप्लीटली छोड़ दिया, okay, and then you went back to material world, and wherever you went back to movie nightclub, वहां पे भी you will see, you will, but see, this philosophy is never lost. You'll always remember कि ये लोग पागल जैसे डांस कर रहे हैं, they are not this body, they don't even know कि they are not their body, they are spirit soul. So this knowledge will never be lost, even if you don't practice it, you will always be infected with this knowledge. So wherever you go, whatever you will do, you will always have this in the back of your mind कि ये नहीं कर सकते, ये ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए, डिवोशन में ऐसा होता है, डिवोटीज तो ऐसे करते हैं, डिवोटीज तो ऐसे डांस करते हैं. मतलब अब नाइट क्लब में भी जाके आप डिवोटीज के बारे में सोचेंगे कि डिवो टेम्पल में तो हम ऐसे डांस करते थे, ये पता नहीं कैसे पागल जैसे डांस कर रहे हैं. एंड यू मे ऑल्सो डांस विद देम, बट दिस इज हाउ यू विल ऑलवेज बी थिंकिंग. Also, if you are sincere enough, Krishna will arrange to send more devotees in your life. You may get a call from somebody, कोई माता इससे phone आ जाएगा, and then she'll say कि hi, Hare Krishna Mata ji, how are you? You not come for japa for many days, and you may again start from where you left. Now this may happen within the course of this lifetime, or even if it can get picked up in the next lifetime. So once you begin your journey towards Krishna, your success is guaranteed. It's only a question of when it will happen. तो जब हम सीरियस हो जाएंगे, जब हम सीरियसली भक्तों के संग में रहेंगे, ये इस तरह से हम सवाल करेंगे, and then we will try to act sincerely, we'll pray to Krishna sincerely कि लेजीनेस क्या होता है. लेजीनेस इज, अगर आप मान लो आपने फ्लाइट बुक की है कल की, आप यू स्टे इन से बैंगलोर, यू वांट टू गो टू दिल्ली, आपने 10,000 रुपए खर्च करके फ्लाइट बुक की है और फ्लाइट है सुबह 6 बजे की, क्या आप जल्दी नहीं उठेंगे? यू विल वेक अप, राइट? यू विल गो टू एयरपोर्ट, 3 बजे जाके बैठ जाएंगे, आपकी 5 बजे की फ्लाइट है तो वी इट्स नॉट दैट कि हम मैं लेजी हूँ, मैं तो एयरपोर्ट नहीं जा सकती, 6 बजे की फ्लाइट तो मैं कर ही नहीं सकती, ले ही नहीं सकती. आप जब बोलेंगे मैं जाके फ्लाइट में सो जाऊंगी, बट आई विल गो टू द फ्लाइट, आई कांट. मैंने 10,000 खर्च किया है. सो व्हाट वी वैल्यू, यू नो वी पे अटेंशन टू दैट. हम वो चीजें करते हैं जो हम वैल्यू करते हैं. सो आज हम वैल्यू इसलिए नहीं करते कृष्णा कॉन्शियसनेस को, बिकॉज वी टेक थिंग्स फॉर ग्रांटेड. आज I have this home, this nice healthy body, relatively मतलब कोई sickness नहीं है, पैसे भी है, फैमिली भी है, सब अच्छा चल रहा है, तो I deserved this. When I start thinking like this कि ये सब मैं डिजर्व ही करता था, शायद मैं इससे ज्यादा डिजर्व करता था, शायद मैं बंगलो डिजर्व करता था, बट मे बी आज मुझे 2 BHK दिया है भगवान ने, तो मैं शायद ज्यादा ही डिजर्व करता था, बट भगवान ने मुझे कम दिया है. तो when we start this mentality कि ये I deserve this, and when we look at our world we become comfortable. But um, but when we realize that whatever we have got it with the mercy of Krishna. It's because of Krishna's mercy we have got it. We probably deserved something worst, but we've been given this. And there are so many people we see around who are suffering, who doesn't even have 10% of what we possess today. And we are not one of those. And what I have done specially to be in not in that category, practically nothing. So when we see Krishna's hand in whatever we have, we become grateful to Krishna, and then we start valuing Krishna consciousness more. So unless this gratitude comes towards Krishna, our devotional service remains lazy. It remains, sometimes we are we sometimes कुछ exam के पहले generally, we see a lot of people going to temple because they know they need somebody's mercy to also, apart from their studying, they needs this mercy also, they need somebody's assistance also, and they consider that God is going to give them that assistance, therefore they go to, so typically before exams you see a jump in the footfall of people visiting temple, student visit temple quite often before the exam. So it's because they recognize the role played by God in their life, at least during exam days. But if we are smart enough, we can recognize this throughout our life. Whatever we have, whatever we possess, and how it is facilitated by Krishna, how it is given by Krishna. When we see Krishna's hand in that, when we realize without Krishna, I can't do anything. And uh, now, now that again should make us lazy. That should make us help us develop gratitude towards Krishna. And if we can develop this state of gratitude, our laziness will go. Then we will value Krishna consciousness. Then waking up early in the morning will not remain a trouble for us. Uh, Again, we talk about devotee communication or interaction with devotees. We often feel that we all I am pure devotee and everybody else is not so pure devotee. It could be the other way around. So when we interact with devotees, so we're given devotee association. We see devotee association is also a mercy by Krishna. And when that happens, it's easy for us to be humble and submissive towards the devotees. At times, we can, we um, we can accept our mistake even when there is no mistake, in order to save a relationship with the devotee, because devotees are going to help us remember Krishna when our time will come to leave this body. Devotees are the ones who will going to help us read Bhagavad Gita every day when we become lazy and don't feel like reading. The same devotees are the ones who will give us prasad. Same devotees are the one who will remind us to come to temple. Same devotees are going to come ask us to read Bhagavad Gita. Same devotees are the ones who are going to ask us to come for classes. So we should value them, and that's how when we look at them like in that way, we feel gratitude just by seeing them. And then then little bit there will always be issues, because ultimately those are also devotees in progress, in work in progress. So there can be issues, genuine issues, and we can have seniors help us address those issues. But in general, we can be extremely grateful to have devotee association in our life. Okay.
यस प्रभु जी, थैंक यू प्रभु जी। जैसे आपने आपने कहा ना, हम लोग अगर ये डिवोशनल सर्विस में मतलब डल हो जाए, तो वैसे मुझे एक्सपीरियंस मुझे 2-4 है। जैसे कि मैं पीछे हो गई, अगर मतलब कुछ अभी कथा है, कीर्तन है, नहीं जा रही हूँ, मतलब तो मुझे कॉल आ गया, ऐसा हो गया। ये मैंने एक्सपीरियंस किया है प्रभु जी। पर फिर भी मुझे थोड़ा डर लग जाता है कि मैं इससे छूट ना जाऊँ, यही पाथ पे रहूँ, ये ऐसा लगता है।
या सो आप सुबह उठ के रोज प्रे कर दीजिएगा कृष्णा को कि हमें कभी भी डिवोशन सर्विस, डिवोटीज से दूर मत करना, हमेशा डिवोटीज के संग में रखना, एंड सो दैट आई कैन कंटिन्यू टू प्रैक्टिस डिवोशनल सर्विस थ्रू आउट माई लाइफ। सो ये ऐसी प्रेयर होनी चाहिए हमारे। वी चैंट प्रेयर्स रिटन बाय अदर डिवोटीज। प्रभुपाद जी की प्रेयर करते हैं, या जो Rupa Goswami ki prayer we chant, and those are all nice prayers. But this can also be a prayer, as your own personal prayer to Krishna. That every day after waking up, you pray to Krishna that never let me go away from devotees. You always keep devotees in my life throughout this life, and you always keep me engaged in devotional service. Like that, we can pray to Krishna.
Yes, Prabhu.
So
Thank you,
such a
Prabhu.
nice prayer it will be. Krishna will feel so happy, right? Somebody is asking me service, so he will immediately grant your wish, desire, spiritual desire. Very nice. Okay.
Krishna Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Yeah, Hare Krishna. So last question, Sima Mataji, if you have any question, or we'll conclude the session.
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी, पंचांग प्रणाम। प्रभु जी, भक्ति करना और भक्ति के साथ कंटिन्यू लगातार जुड़े रहना, ये तो बहुत अच्छा लगता है प्रभु जी, बहुत अच्छा अनुभव है। पर ये इतनी कठिन रास्ते क्यों है, इसमें बहुत सारी कठिनाइयां क्यों आती हैं? जैसे हम भक्ति कर रहे हैं, कभी चैंटिंग कर रहे हैं तो किसी का कॉल आ गया, कुछ सोच मन में विचार आते रहते हैं, कभी लोगों का कमेंट्स पास होता है, कभी कुछ बोलते हैं, जी देखो ये तो इतना भक्ति कर रही है, इसके साथ परेशानी इसका खत्म नहीं होता है, शायद ये परेशानी खत्म होने के लिए भक्ति करती है क्या? सेंटर जाओ तो सेंटर जाने आने में लोगों का कमेंट सतत, देखो ये तो इस्कॉन की हो गई, ये तिलक लगा रही है, ये अब ये इतना हो गया। तो ये सब चीज क्यों आता है, ऐसा क्यों होता है? जो भक्ति की ओर बढ़ना चाहते तो उनको रोकने के लिए ऐसे लोगों का कमेंट्स और मन में ऐसे ख्याल क्यों आते हैं प्रभु जी?
So comments तो होंगे, so you can't stop people from commenting. लोगों को आप रोक नहीं सकते। So भक्ति करने से हम, it's like comments तो होंगे, but what should be the what is the question? How you deal with those
मतलब
comments?
हाँ, मुझे ये लगता है कि जैसे हम सोसाइटी में रहते हैं, तो अब उनके साथ उठना बैठना भी, अकेले तो हम नहीं रह सकते एक कमरे में बंद होके ना, उनके साथ रहना उठना बैठना, तो वो जो कमेंट्स करते हैं तो वो दिल में चुभता है कभी कभी। तो ये दिल से ये बात हटाने के लिए मुझे क्या करना चाहिए?
So
अब जैसे कि
yeah,
फैमिली
so
में बच्चों की
if you
रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी भी मेरी है।
हाँ,
मेरी खुद की रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है, ओन रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी मेरी ही है बच्चों की। तो मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि सोशल नहीं रहूंगी, लोगों से नहीं मिलूंगी जुलूंगी तो अकेली रह जाऊंगी। तो हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी।
हाँ माता जी, बोलिए बोलिए।
हाँ तो
I just
वही।
keep my video off so that they can
ओके ओके
enter.
ओके। हाँ हाँ जी, तो ये मेरा मन में कि मैं अपने मन को कैसे समझाऊं और इन लोगों की बातों को कैसे अपने मन से हटाऊं और चैंटिंग में मेरा मन अच्छे से लगे, भक्ति की ओर मैं बढ़ूं, सेंटर में अच्छे से जा पाऊं, बेझिझक जा पाऊं। ये सारा चीज मेरे दिमाग में दुविधा रहती है। कृष्णा हमेशा हेल्प करते हैं, पर मन में जो बात आती है ना, लोगों का सुनती हूँ या फिर मन में हमेशा रहता है
तो
वो उसकी।
जैसे I don't know, a Sikh when he wears a turban, it looks different. तो पीपल में पॉइंट कि अच्छा ये तो टर्बन पहन के, बाकी लोग हो तो टर्बन नहीं पहनते, बट ही फील्स प्राउड इन डूइंग दैट, इजंट ही?
यस।
सिमिलरली तिलक लगाना, कंठी माला, जो बीड बैग लेके घूमना, तिलक लगाना, दीज आर एक्सटर्नल्स। ये एक्सटर्नल हम इसलिए करते हैं क्योंकि हमारा इंटरनल, इट हेल्प्स अस इन डेवलपिंग अवर इंटरनल कॉन्शियसनेस। हमारा एक्सटर्नल शो ऑफ करना ही पर्पस होता तो उसके लिए हमारे ये डर सही होता।
जी जी।
बट हमारा पर्पस एक्सटर्नल पहनने का इसलिए है कि इससे हमें इंटरनल कॉन्शियसनेस डेवलप होता है, इट हेल्प अस इन डेवलपिंग इंटरनल कॉन्शियसनेस। सो हमें ये बेझिझक करना चाहिए। अब अगर कोई
ओके।
बीड बैग को देख के पॉइंट आउट कर रहा है कि बीड बैग लेके घूम रही है, तो आप बीड बैग उनको ले लीजिए, आप भी ले लीजिए, तो वो बोलना बंद करेंगे, भाग जाएंगे वहां से। सो ये वन एट सम स्टेज, इनिशियल स्टेज में ना लोग, लाइक मेंस का आई टेल यू, दे धोती कुर्ता पहन के घर से नहीं निकलते हैं। तो टिपिकली वो क्या करते हैं, धोती धोती कुर्ता कैरी करते हैं और टेम्पल में जाते हैं, कहीं फटाफट जाके चेंज करते हैं, मस्त धोती कुर्ता पहन के है, और डांस करते हैं, कीर्तन में प्रसाद करते हैं, सेवा करते हैं, फिर चेंज करते हैं, शर्ट पैंट में आते हैं, अपने घर जाते हैं। तो वो इनिशियल स्टेज में होता है, वो क्या सोचेगा, वो क्या सोचेगा, वो मेरे में क्या। बट एट सम स्टेज, यू नो, यू यू आर डूइंग इट, दिस इज, यू आर डेवलपिंग, ट्राइंग टू डेवलप लव फॉर कृष्णा, and
यस।
by wearing dhoti kurta you are going to become less bodily conscious. You are not going to think कि मैं कैसा दिख रहा हूँ, मैं कैसी दिख रही हूँ. By wearing a sari, by wearing dhoti kurta, you are taking your mind off your body, and you are wearing a tilak so that you know that everyone will see me and think of Hare Krishna. So I had to act in a responsible way in the society. Whenever I go out, I'm wearing kanthi mala. So I carry Krishna with me. With through these objects, people remember Krishna by seeing me. So when I act in a particular way, people will judge me in that way. So obviously these things when I wear and go out in the society, they should make me conscious so that I behave in a particular proper way. I don't do things which are not expected to be done by a Krishna conscious person. So, to that extent, our anxiety is fine, but otherwise, we should feel very happy. After that initial phase is over, we should rather feel very happy that people are associating with us with Krishna consciousness. And by pointing us, ये भक्त करता है, ये भक्ति करना चालू किया है, ये कृष्ण भक्त है, तो वो भी तो कृष्ण का नाम ले रहे हैं, by indirectly now they are taking Krishna's name even if they don't want to. So that way they are connecting with Krishna. That is also chanting, indirect way, but it is still chanting. So uh, at some after that initial period, people generally are able to overcome this anxiety कि लोग क्या सोचते हैं. People will start. So if even if you don't start preaching, just by your uh, just by showing up in a particular way, you're representing ISKCON, you're representing Krishna to them. They just remember Krishna just by seeing you wearing a tilak, kanthimala, bead bag, these three things. So so it is good. They're getting remembrance of Krishna. It's nothing wrong in that. You should not feel bad about it. Now, if they say bad things about Krishna, it's everyone is free to do whatever that they want to do. If they are, if you so you don't go and preach them. If they have too much negativity about Krishna, you do not go and preach them, because you can utilize your energy in preaching to those who have positive emotions for Krishna. There are so many people. All of you were waiting for such class to start, so all of you picked up got hooked to this class, been attending this class every Sunday.
Yes.
ऐसा नहीं कि आप लोगों को और कोई काम धंधा नहीं है इसलिए आप 11 से 1-2 बजे तक बैठ रहे हैं, बट यू वैल्यू इट, यू सो यू हैड दैट अर्ज, तो आपको वो कृष्णा कनेक्टेड थ्रू दिस मीडियम. सो ऐसे काफी लोग हैं, मतलब हजारों लोग हैं, वी आर नॉट इवन एबल टू रीच. सो वी शुड रादर इन्वेस्ट अवर एनर्जी एंड टाइम इन टॉकिंग टू दोज पीपल हु हैव पॉजिटिव इमोशंस फॉर कृष्णा, and we will wait for these people to figure out, come to a stage where they will also become more positive, and then Krishna will connect them with somebody else, maybe. So that way, we can we understand that our time is also precious. उसमें हमारी खुद की साधना करनी है और हमको प्रचार करना है, कृष्ण देना है हमको सबको. So we should utilize it intelligently. We should not overly worry about such things, these things which are not in our control anyway. And at beyond some stage, beyond the point, we should feel very happy that we are representing Krishna. We feel because this is giving us joy, and we should be joyful rather, representing Krishna in the society in general.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare
Thank you,
Krishna.
Prabhu.
Thank you so much, Mataji. So there are no other questions, I believe. So let me close today's session. Thank you everyone for participating wholeheartedly and asking so many wonderful questions. Made that session very wonderful, very interactive. Lot of learning for me also as we all talk through. So thank you so much, and continue to. We will develop it. We'll go into the next section, the most confidential knowledge, chapter 9. Again, a lot of beautiful. It's one of the most beautiful chapters in the entire Bhagavad Gita. So request you all to stay back, and be more attentive, be more patient, and practice Krishna consciousness nicely. Join japa every day, join reading sessions every day, and that way, remember Krishna every day. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी, दंडवत प्रणाम. थैंक यू प्रभु जी.
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी, दंडवत प्रणाम. Thank you so much.
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी, दंडवत प्रणाम प्रभु जी.
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी, दंडवत प्रणाम. थैंक यू वेरी मच.
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी, दंडवत प्रणाम प्रभु जी.